will set the stage to this 41st annual convention with the B2B sessions. And to kick off the B2B technical session, may I now invite Mr. Bibu Ponnuran, Senior Vice President, Chairman of the Annual Convention, Director, Medivision Group, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all. In fact, I stand here today as the proud chairman of this Kerala Management Convention's 41st convention, which is also the first ever international convention. And I believe this is the first ever B2B session that we are having in our two-day convention that happens year on year. As we all know, and as that has been shown on the video here, this is a 65-year-old organization with stalwarts always at the helm of affairs. Today, we hit upon this idea of having a select group of people to come in and share their success stories, both in the private sector, in the public sector, and a few successful people from abroad who never like to come into the limelight, but thanks to Norca Roots, we've been able to identify them and bring them here. Kerala per se, the idea of this particular morning meeting is that all of us should meet each other, all of us should exchange ideas, and that is why we said we have invited the who's who of the business world and the corporate world to have this interactive session. In fact, when I called Mr. C. Balagopal, who will be delivering the curtain raiser and the keynote for us today morning, I told him, look sir, I would like you to speak on this particular subject, that all is not bad for Kerala. Then he suddenly sent me a message saying, Bibu, why are you saying that all is not bad for Kerala, everything is good for Kerala? And then he gave a lot of statistics. Probably he's going to say that I'm not getting into those details. But what I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of negativity about our state. Some of it is true, some of it may not be true. Some people fail, some people, rise up from the ashes and they come up. So that is the basic idea, to motivate people here. There are people from the startup sector. There are accomplished businessmen sitting here. So everyone must have had a good story and a bad story in their business during the course of their business. So that is what has set the tone for this particular morning session or this B2B session. With this, let me say, and I would like to formally welcome all our speakers and all of you delegates who have come here today morning. Mr. C. Balagopal will be doing the curtain raiser for us, and he is the founder of Terumor Penpal Limited. He's a former chairman of Federal Bank Limited. And for those of you who do not know him, he's known to everyone, but then I'll just say that he is somebody who has bred a company from within Kerala, and it is the largest blood bank manufacturer in the world today. So welcome you, sir, to this morning session. And we have another person who's also a management committee member, Mr. K. Harikumar. He has proven that the public sector can do very well in the state. He's Mr. Harikumar, the Managing Director of Malabar Cements and the Travancore Cochin Chemicals. Welcome you, sir. Mr. George L. Matthew, Chairman Emeritus of the Duroflex Group, another Kerala-born company, and which is now a 1,000 crore company. He's here with us. We welcome you, sir. And we have again another success story person who just came in, Mr. Madhu S. Nair. He is the chairman and the managing director of the Cochin Shipyard Limited. We welcome you, sir. And Mr. Thomas John, who is the Managing Director of Agape Diagnostics Limited. He's here with us today evening. Again, his is another success story which has come from a Kolanjeri-based company, manufacturing company, which is taking on the world, and it's probably just among the one or two companies in the whole of India that is manufacturing medical equipments for the industry within the country. Welcome you. And then from abroad, people who never come into the limelight, but then people who have been doing exceedingly well. We have Mr. Sanil Kumar, who is the Managing Director and Chairman of Classic Fashion Apparel Limited. He's come all the way from Jordan. Welcome you, Mr. Sanil Kumar. We'll hear about him later because it's an interesting tale. And Mr. T.N. Krishna Kumar, who is the Managing Director of Shanti International in Dubai. His is another success story. He's investing both in India and he's based out of the UAE. We welcome you, Mr. Krishna Kumar. And we have Mr. Shamsuddin, who is the founder director of Burjil Geojit Securities, again from the UAE. We welcome you, sir. And the only the lady who has proven to be the most successful lady entrepreneur from the country, in the state of Kerala, and one among the largest in the country, Mrs. Pamela Anna Matthew, Managing Director of OEN Limited. Madam, a special welcome to you because you are the only lady speaker in this forum in the morning. And so this is what I have to say. I don't want to make this longer. I welcome all of you once again to this meeting, all our committee members, our management committee members, our executive committee members, all of you who are invited here. This is going to be almost a 3-hour session, and then we go break off for lunch. So please be with us throughout. Please hear the success stories of these people, and let us be motivated to take our business to greater heights. Thank you, and welcome once again. Oh, I'm sorry, Rungtaji, I think you just walked in. He is Mr. Kishore Rungta. Welcome you, sir. He is the chairman and the managing director of FACT. And as we all know, his is another great success story from within Kerala. He has turned around the company, and today, in terms of market capitalization, FACT is touching 50,000 crores. Another company from Kerala, public sector company from Kerala. Welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome.
1 second. I hope, just like Rungtaji, I have not missed any of the speakers today. Because I think I have covered everybody. Because some of you have come in a little late. That's why. If at all, I'm sorry, but you're welcome.
Appreciated, sir. Appreciated, sir. May I now invite Mr. A. Balakrishnan, President of KMA and Executive Director, Geojit Financial Services, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, dear industrial leaders. This is a special function with the special invitees of the city and the state. And of course, the personalities, dignitaries proved their success all over the world. It was actually initiative of our chairman and senior vice president, Bibu. Initially, we all were skeptical whether we can have another function along with the traditional KMA's annual management convention. So the hall is full. It is proved that it is valuable, and everyone is interested in sharing their experience with the others. Let me also express my sincere thanks to the young generation entrepreneurs. We have large in number from InfoPark, startup and all. I have seen 5 or 6 successful startup ventures here. So this is fundamentally not for a monologue or giving an advice or just sharing success story or something like that. It will be an interactive session, and please interact and let us learn from them. This is the objective of this particular program. Number 2 is we started this year with the upskilling, requirement of upskilling. You know that post-COVID, the industrial world, the business world has tremendously changed. We have seen large number of work from home opportunity, employees shifting their job, and the technology is implementing on a rapid pace. So the challenges of entrepreneurs, businessmen, managers are new, and it is actually very, very complex. Therefore, learning from successful people, also learning from if somebody failed or in some decisions, that is very important for all of us. We all are actually running business, running operations, running finance, and managing people, etc. Therefore, it is extremely important to update. So that is why upskilling. So we started with this. We have presented 7 case studies of various entities in the monthly seminars. We also signed up with the global owner management program, which is fundamentally for family business. Family business also, after generations, there are a lot of challenges in the family business. We virtually agreed with IIMK on conducting MDP for our member community. These are the initiatives we have taken in this year. Hope we will continue with this. So this is not the time for a big presidential address. It is only customary to have a welcome address, presidential address, etc. So let us hear from the eminent personalities. Thank you all for coming and taking your time from the business and coming over here. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's good to see so many familiar faces here. I would start by thanking the Kerala Management Association for inviting me to share some thoughts on the business ecosystem in Kerala. And since we are going to be challenged for time, since there are so many speakers with very important stories to tell, I'll try and keep my observations as short as possible, but I've been given a difficult task. There is a defensive air about any discussion about doing business in Kerala. At the moment the subject is announced, there are smiles on the faces of the people, as if they are talking about something ridiculous. Doing business in Kerala. What sensible guy would do business in Kerala? Every single person present here in this room is testimony to the fact that not only you can do business in Kerala, you can become tremendously successful in Kerala. Of course, we are all also still extremely critical about Kerala. And I think I would prefer to see that as a strength of Kerala. That, despite our personal business success and the success of people whom we know, we still retain this ability to be extremely self-critical. So I prefer to look at it as a positive trait. But with one caution, this can be carried too far. And if you carry it too far, what happens is then you adversely affect the business ecosystem in this state. The purpose of my talk today is not to show that there are successful businesses and manufacturing enterprises in Kerala. That you all know that is a fact. In fact, it must be an extremely ignorant person who does not know that there are successful businesses in Kerala. It is no longer a closely kept secret that there are. I remember many years ago when Korean Abraham of Dhanam sent me one of the early copies of Dhanam magazine, which I just started. And he sent it to me because he had a feature there, the Dhanam 100 or something, he called it. 100 successful SMEs in Kerala. And he sent it to me because the company which I was running, Penpal, figured in that list. So I wrote back to him, I didn't know him then. So I wrote back to him saying, Mr. Abraham, you have let the cat out of the bag. You have disclosed one of Kerala's best kept secrets, that there are successful private businesses in Kerala. So that's not the purpose of my talk. It is not even to oppose the equally, in my opinion, untenable narrative that any discourse about Kerala is a discourse about Attimari, Nokukuli and Hartal. If you mention those three terms, I think there are probably, I don't think there's a single person like that in this room, but there are those who believe that that captures the business ecosystem of Kerala. So I used to think, so the corollary of that is that if by a wave of a wand or a fatwa, if these three could be made to disappear, Kerala would become the Taiwan of India. Would it? If you remove Attimari, Noguguli and Hartal, everything is going to be fine. I mean, there are some who think that. But I admit, we must admit, and that's why I said that it's good to be self-critical. There are many things about Kerala that need to change. Just like there are many things about Tamil Nadu that need to change, there are many things about that paradise of business called Gujarat which needs to change. Those who know doing business there will vouch for it. There are many things about all those places which need to change. No place in the world is perfect. Every place is a mixture. So my task today, in these next few minutes, what I'm trying to do has a twofold objective. The first is to remind ourselves that in Kerala, we are dealing with a state that is ahead in the commonly understood economic development metrics than all other states in this country. We don't seem to realize that. We seem to think some infant mortality and some population rate of growth, that Kerala is in front and everywhere else it's really behind. I think that's a very serious misunderstanding of what is the development process, what are development metrics, and if we don't understand that, we will not see that we are operating in a state which is actually poised to be much faster growing than it already is, and in fact its growth has been very impressive. Many of us don't even know that. So that's the first objective, that is to say that what kind of state we are dealing with. In other words, we should be thinking about, and I remember attending a seminar where again, one of the management conventions in the state where they said Kerala 5.0, and they took this analogy from, I think, Japan, where they were saying that the futuristic vision of Japan, which had been put out there, how to build on a society which is already educated, which has taken care of public health, it has taken care of public social security, it has taken care of so many other things. And now it has the platform for economic development. So that's the first objective. And the second is that what many of us have not realized is that the manufacturing sector in Kerala has been transforming itself from a primary processor of locally available raw materials like coir, cashew, and a few others, and some basic textile, etc., into a highly value-added manufacturing sector, which is able to, which is not based on locally available raw materials and which has markets all across the world. So this opens up new opportunities in Kerala and needs different kinds of public policy support. In any discourse about states in India, one suggestion which I have to all of you is, if you know some fact about Kerala, that per se
action between corporate leaders and management gurus. This has helped many companies to surge ahead with sound professional management practices. A growing economy often ushers in new trends in the market. Regular seminars and interactive workshops are conducted by KMA to keep up with the ever-changing market requirements. A 2-day annual management convention is conducted during the first quarter of every year, which is attended by over 1,000 delegates from all across Kerala. Eminent speakers of national and international repute lead this prestigious event. KMA has many such successful initiatives. Evening lectures by eminent people. CEO Conclave. Management Students Forum. Young Managers Managers Forum. Sector-specific seminars. Women Managers Forum are some of them. KMA is active in the social media networking sites. It also has a comprehensive website, www.kma.org.in. KMA is managed by a managing committee comprising of prominent industry and corporate heads and functions at its own premises at Panambali Nagar, Kochi. The long-cherished dream of renovating the KMA building at Panambali Nagar became a reality on 18th August 2022. The new KMA house has one big conference hall, 3 small meeting halls, and 1 boardroom. The main hall is named Lulu Hall. The other halls are Cochin Shipyard Hall, Georgette Hall, and Muthoot FinCorp Hall. Corporate companies are awarded KMA Excellence Awards in 5 different categories, which promote healthy competition for excellence among members. Membership. A membership in KMA offers opportunities to interact with the top management leaders in Kerala to share knowledge and skills, thereby commanding respect and credibility to your organization. Corporate membership is open to business houses, government enterprises, educational institutions, etc. Any individual who meets the norms set by KMA can enroll as life members on payment of the fees as a lump sum. Senior citizens only have to pay half the fee. For more details, please contact Executive Director, Kerala Management Association.
We will set the stage to this 41st annual convention with the B2B sessions. And to kick off the B2B technical session, may I now invite Mr. Bibhu Ponnuran, Senior Vice President, Chairman of the annual convention, Director, Medivision Group, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all. In fact, I stand here today as the proud chairman of this Kerala Management Convention's 41st convention, which is also the first ever international convention. And I believe this is the first ever B2B session that we are having in our 2-day convention that happens year on year. As we all know, and as that has been shown on the video here, this is a 65-year-old organization with stalwarts always at the helm of affairs. Today, we hit upon this idea of having a select group of people to come in and share their success stories, both in the private sector, in the public sector, and a few successful people from abroad who never like to come into the limelight, but thanks to Norca Roots, we've been able to identify them and bring them here. Kerala per se, the idea of this particular morning meeting is that all of us should meet each other, all of us should exchange ideas, and that is why we said we have invited the who's who of the business world and the corporate world to have this interactive session. In fact, when I called Mr. C. Balagopal, who will be delivering the curtain raiser and the keynote for us today morning, I told him, look, sir, I would like you to speak on this particular subject, that all is not bad for Kerala. Then he suddenly sent me a message saying, Bibu, why are you saying that all is not bad for Kerala, everything is good for Kerala? And then he gave a lot of statistics. Probably he's going to say that, so I'm not getting into those details. But what I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of negativity about our state. Some of it is true, some of it may not be true. Some people fail, some people, rise up from the ashes and they come up. So that is the basic idea, to motivate people here. There are people from the startup sector. There are accomplished businessmen sitting here. So everyone must have had a good story and a bad story in their business during the course of their business. So that is what has set the tone for this particular morning session or this B2B session. With this, let me say, and I would like to formally welcome all our speakers and all of you delegates who have come here today morning. Mr. C. Balagopal will be doing the curtain raiser for us, and he is the founder of Terumor Pen Paul Limited. He's a former chairman of Federal Bank Limited. And for those of you who do not know him, he's known to everyone, but then I'll just say that he is somebody who has bred a company from within Kerala, and it is the largest blood bank manufacturer in the world today. So welcome you, sir, to this morning session. And we have another person who is also a managing committee member, Mr. K. Harikumar. He has proven that the public sector can do very well in the state. He's Mr. Harikumar, the Managing Director of Malabar Cements and the Travancore Cochin Chemicals. Welcome you, sir. Mr. George L. Matthew, Chairman Emeritus of the Duroflex Group, another Kerala-born company, and which is now a 1,000 crore company. He's here with us. We welcome you, sir. And we have again another success story person who just came in, Mr. Madhu S. Nair. He is the chairman and the managing director of the Cochin Shipyard Limited. We welcome you, sir. And Mr. Thomas John, who is the managing director of Agape Diagnostics Limited. He's here with us today evening. Again, his is another success story which has come from a Kolanjeri-based company, manufacturing company, which is taking on the world, and it's probably just among the one or two companies in the whole of India that is manufacturing medical equipments for the industry within the country. Welcome you. And then from abroad, people who never come into the limelight, but then people who have been doing exceedingly well. We have Mr. Sanil Kumar, who is the Managing Director and Chairman of Classic Fashion Apparel Limited. He's come all the way from Jordan. Welcome you, Mr. Sanil Kumar. We'll hear about him later because it's an interesting tale. And Mr. T.N. Krishna Kumar, who is the Managing Director of Shanti International in Dubai. His is another success story. He's investing both in India and he's based out of the UAE. We welcome you, Mr. Krishna Kumar. And we have Mr. Shamsuddin, who is the founder director of Burjil Geojit Securities, again from the UAE. We welcome you, sir. And the only the lady who has proven to be the most successful lady entrepreneur from the country, in the state of Kerala, and one among the largest in the country, Mrs. Pamela Anna Matthew, Managing Director of OEN Limited. Madam, a special welcome to you because you are the only lady speaker in this forum in the morning. And so this is what I have to say. I don't want to make this longer. I welcome all of you once again to this meeting, all our committee members, our management committee members, our executive committee members, all of you who are invited here. This is going to be almost a 3-hour session, and then we go break off for lunch. So please be with us throughout. Please hear the success stories of these people. and let us be motivated to take our business to greater heights. Thank you and welcome once again. Oh, I'm sorry, Rungtaji, I think you just walked in. He is Mr. Kishore Rungta. Welcome you, sir. He is the chairman and the managing director of FACT. And as we all know, his is another great success story from within Kerala. He has turned around the company, and today, in terms of market capitalization, FACT is touching 50,000 crores. Another company from Kerala, public sector company from Kerala. Welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome.
1 second. I hope, just like Rungtaji, I have not missed any of the speakers today. Because I think I have covered everybody. Because some of you have come in a little late, that's why. If at all, I'm sorry, but you're welcome.
Appreciated, sir. Appreciated, sir. May I now invite Mr. A. Balakrishnan, President of KMA and Executive Director, Geojit Financial Services, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, dear industrial leaders. This is a special function with the special invitees of the city and the state. And of course, the personalities, dignitaries proved their success all over the world. It was actually initiative of our chairman and senior vice president Bibu. Initially, we all were skeptical whether we can have another function along with the traditional KMA's annual management convention. So the hall is full. It is proved that it is valuable and everyone is interested in sharing their experience with the others. Let me also express my sincere thanks to the young generation entrepreneurs. We have large in number from InfoPark, startup and all. I have seen 5 or 6 successful startup ventures here. So this is fundamentally not for a monologue or giving an advice or just sharing success story or something like that. It will be an interactive session, and please interact and let us learn from them. This is the objective of this particular program. Number 2 is we started this year with the upskilling, requirement of upskilling. You know that post-COVID, the industrial world, the business world has tremendously changed. We have seen large number of work from home opportunity, employees shifting their job, and the technology is implementing on a rapid pace. So the challenges of entrepreneurs, businessmen, managers are new, and it is actually very, very complex. Therefore, learning from successful people, also learning from if somebody failed or in some decisions, that is very important for all of us. We all are actually running business, running operations, running finance, and managing people, etc. Therefore, it is extremely important to update. So that is why upskilling. So we started with this. We have presented 7 case studies of various entities in the monthly seminars. We also signed up with the global owner management program, which is fundamentally for family business. Family business also, after generations, there are a lot of challenges in the family business. We virtually agreed with IIMK on conducting MDP for our member community. These are the initiatives we have taken in this year. Hope we will continue with this. So this is not the time for a big presidential address. It is only customary to have a welcome address, presidential address, etc. So let us hear from the eminent personalities. Thank you all for coming and taking your time from the business and coming over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, we have a special message from Mr. Suman Billa, IAS, Principal Secretary, Industries and Norca, to address the gathering. Mr. Suman Billa is currently serving as the Principal Secretary, Industries and Norca. He has held various positions in the 2-decade-long career. Before his assignment as the Principal Secretary, he was associated with the United Nations World Tourism Organization in Madrid, Spain, as the Director, Technical Cooperation and Silk Road. He has also held key position of Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, Secretary, Kerala Tourism, Commissioner, Commercial Taxes, Secretary, Food and Civil Supplies, District Collector, Palakkad, and Director, Kerala Tourism. He has also been the Private Secretary to the Minister of the State in the Ministries of External Affairs and Defense. Let us now tune in for his message.
I would like to thank the organizers of the 41st Annual Management Convention, the Kerala Management Association, for inviting me to speak at this event. The theme of this convention is very vital for India, which is beyond boundaries, fostering management excellence. Today, we live in a
Challenges are everywhere, and that's exactly why we are here. And we'll address how to overcome such challenges and move ahead. And they say to err is to human. What to say about the technology, right? Let us now move along. Today, we have with us the very eminent Mr. C. Balagopal, founder, Thermo Penpol Limited, former chairman, Federal Bank, author of 3 books, philanthropist and civil servant turned entrepreneur. Mr. Balagopal familiarized many Malayalis with the term blood bag. He founded Thermo Penpol in 1983, a biomedical device manufacturer, which was the largest maker of blood bags in the world, exporting to more than 50 countries. Former chairman, the Federal Bank Limited, member, PMG Maker Village, director, Timid Incubator, member, Governing Council, Center for Management Development Advisory Board, member of the IIT Palakkad. These are a few of the many roles donned by him. A sought-after speaker and an advocate of the advantages of MSME climate in Kerala, he continues to actively mentor building entrepreneurs. I now invite Mr. C. Balagopal to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning. It's good to see so many familiar faces here. I would start by thanking the Kerala Management Association for inviting me to share some thoughts on the business ecosystem in Kerala. And since we are going to be challenged for time, since there are so many speakers with very important stories to tell, I'll try and keep my observations as short as possible, but I've been given a difficult task. There is a defensive air about any discussion about doing business in Kerala. At the moment the subject is announced, there are smiles on the faces of the people, as if we are talking about something ridiculous. Doing business in Kerala. What sensible guy would do business in Kerala? Every single person present here in this room is testimony to the fact that not only you can do business in Kerala, you can become tremendously successful in Kerala. Of course, we are all also still extremely critical about Kerala. And I think I would prefer to see that as a strength of Kerala, that, if, despite our personal business success and the success of people whom we know, we still retain this ability to be extremely self-critical. So I prefer to look on it as a positive trait. But with one caution, this can be carried too far. And if you carry it too far, what happens is then you adversely affect the business ecosystem in this state. The purpose of my talk today is not to show that there are successful businesses and manufacturing enterprises in Kerala. That you all know that is a fact. In fact, it must be an extremely ignorant person who does not know that there are successful businesses in Kerala. It is no longer a closely kept secret that there are. I remember many years ago when Kurian Abraham of Dhanam sent me one of the early copies of Dhanam magazine, which had just started. And he sent it to me because he had a feature there, the Dhanam 100 or something, he called it. 100 successful SMEs in Kerala. And he sent it to me because the company which I was running, Penpal, figured in that list. So I wrote back to him. I didn't know him then. So I wrote back to him saying, Mr. Abraham, you have let the cat out of the bag. You have disclosed one of Kerala's best kept secrets, that there are successful private businesses in Kerala. So that's not the purpose of my talk. It is not even to oppose the equally, in my opinion, untenable narrative that any discourse about Kerala is a discourse about Attimari, Nokkukuli, and Hartal. If you mention those three terms, I think there are probably, I don't think there's a single person like that in this room, but there are those who believe that that captures the business ecosystem of Kerala. Attimari, Nokkukuli, Hartal. So I used to think, so the corollary of that is that if by a wave of a wand or a fatwa, if these three could be made to disappear, Kerala would become the Taiwan of India. Would it? If you remove Attimari, Nokkukuli, and Hartal, everything is going to be fine. I mean, there are some who think that. But I admit, we must admit, and that's why I said that it's good to be self-critical, there are many things about Kerala that need to change. Just like there are many things about Tamil Nadu that need to change, there are many things about that paradise of business called Gujarat which needs to change. Those who know doing business there will vouch for it. There are many things about all those places which need to change. No place in the world is perfect. Every place is a mixture. So my task today, in these next few minutes, what I'm trying to do has a twofold objective. The first is to remind ourselves that in Kerala, we are dealing with a state that is ahead in the commonly understood economic development metrics than all other states in this country. We don't seem to realize that. We seem to think some infant mortality and some population rate of growth, adil maatrame ullu that Kerala is in front, and everywhere else it's really behind. I think that's a very serious misunderstanding of what is the development process, what are development metrics, and if we don't understand that, we will not see that we are operating in a state which is actually poised to be much faster growing than it already is. And in fact, its growth has been very impressive. Many of us don't even know that. So that's the first objective. That is to say that what kind of state we are dealing with. In other words, we should be thinking about, and I remember attending a seminar where again, one of the management conventions in the state where they said Kerala 5.0. And they took this analogy from, I think, Japan, where they were saying that the futuristic vision of Japan, which had been put out there, how to build on a society which is already educated, which has taken care of public health, it has taken care of public social security, it has taken care of so many other things. And now it has the platform for economic development. So that's the first objective. And the second is that what many of us have not realized is that the manufacturing sector in Kerala has been transforming itself from a primary processor of locally available raw materials like coir, cashew, and a few others, and some basic textile, etc., into a highly value-added manufacturing sector, which is able to, which is not based on locally available raw materials and which has markets all across the world. So this opens up new opportunities in Kerala and needs different kinds of public policy support. In any discourse about states in India, one suggestion which I have to all of you is, if you know some fact about Kerala, that per se, you cannot, it's difficult to say it's good or bad. You must compare it to the states. So you need interstate comparisons of data. So whether it is per capita GDP, whether it is any industrial unrest figure, whether it is any other parameter which you look at, we must have much more. And I think one of the services which Kerala Management Association can do through its research programs and internship and other academic programs is to generate this kind of data which will enable us to have a much better idea about how do we stack up against the other states. I recall attending a seminar by the famous Columbia University economist Jeffrey Sachs. This was in the 1990s, and it was held at the Center for Development Studies in Trivandrum. And the subject of his talk was on the development of the East Asian tigers and comparing what happened there and to what did not happen in India. That is, why didn't we take off also? And he took Malaysia and Penang province to examine where India had failed. And that made me and many others in the audience think, because there were so many similarities between the places he selected, Penang on the west coast of Malaysia, and then he spoke about South Korea and Taiwan. And there were so many geographical and other social common features between those regions and Kerala. So it left many of us thinking, how come Kerala could not do a Penang? You know, why did we not do as well? Now, much of the narrative about industry in Kerala is mired in anecdotal accounts of labor unrest, high wages as a result of trade union activity, industrial disputes leading to shutting down of industries, and the migration of industries away from Kerala. Some of these are based on fact. A lot of these are based on hearsay. And I think another important service which the KMA can do, because as the President said in his opening remarks, one of the valuable services which can be done is to promote research and case studies of all these things which happen. Because the problem with anecdotal accounts is you can use, it leads ultimately to not intelligent discussion, but what is called whataboutery. Whataboutery is if I give an example of a successful Kerala enterprise, you can give an example of a failed Kerala enterprise. And then I will respond with another example of a successful Kerala enterprise. And so we keep on going, and the discussion ends with, we are not really listening to what the other person is saying. We will merely say, but what about? And what about? And what about? And we'll keep on going like playing ping pong. And no useful conclusions can emerge from such a discussion. Now, as I mentioned, in some of the groups I talk to, just to be provocative and to get the attention of the audience, I start with a provocative proposition. And one of those provocative propositions is I say, Kerala is the only state in India which can become the Taiwan of India. Immediately I have everybody's attention because they are shocked, they are amused, some of them start laughing. So obviously they think this is something which cannot happen. Now, look at some of the similarities. Apart from the size, which is more or less, Taiwan has a population of a little more than 20 million. Its geographical area is probably roughly similar. Its topography is very similar. It has a mountainous spine, it has a coastal belt, It is highly densely populated. It has no raw materials worth the name. And in all these, it is similar to Kerala. We are exactly like that. Okay? So, now, from that resource, in terms of conventional economic argument, from that resource-poor base, it has built one of the most successful and prosperous countries in the world. And you have, similar to that is South Korea. Similar to that is Malaysia and all the East Asian countries. So, I was just thinking, are there lessons which we can draw from there, and what are those things? It's very interesting. Some of the other common features of Taiwan and Kerala is, Taiwan went through a land reform, a comprehensive land reform in 1957. It is not just communist governments which do land reform. That was a military dictatorship there in Taiwan, and they brought land reform because they wanted to release land for the cultivator. They brought in universal public health schemes. They brought in public education, making basic primary and secondary education free and accessible to everybody. Do you see some similarities there in terms of priorities? There are those who say Kerala's priorities are all mistaken and we should have built expressways and we should have built steel plants and chemical plants instead of concentrating on educating our people. Fortunately for Taiwan, they didn't do that. Now, why the rest of the other things didn't follow, we have to see. We need to look at that. So, there is another story obscured by this single narrative about a resource-poor, crowded region along the coastal strip of southwest India, similar to that of Taiwan, which stressed human capital through public education, public health, social welfare, and in the words of Amartya Sen, who is, at least we will all acknowledge that he's an economist who knows his business and he can understand numbers. In the words, it rose from being, at the turn of independence, from being an economic laggard state at the bottom of the list to, by the turn of the 20th century, to the top of the list in India in terms of economic development, in terms of all the parameters of which, the sustainable development goals of which have been posited by the United Nations. So it is not just in infant mortality and in life expectancy that Kerala performed well. It performed well in almost all the development parameters. So how did that? That's a very interesting story there. Kerala is ranked among the highest in terms of per capita income. It comes in the top half. But more significant than per capita income from a developmental perspective and quality of life is per capita consumption expenditure. And in per capita consumption expenditure, Kerala is number one in India. After all, what determines the standard of living of a family, of a father, mother, and two children? Is the total amount which they are able to spend on consumption, because that is immediately, it has a bearing on their economic, on the economic quality of life. Then, these are ranked by Niti Aayog, which I don't think anybody will say is a great friend or admirer of Kerala, and a study conducted by the Public Affairs Center of Bangalore, which is a non-partisan think tank. They introduced at the instance of the instigation of the Niti Aayog, in 2016 they introduced what was called the Public Affairs Index, which was a ranking of all the states, and this was done for the Niti Aayog. And the ranking of all the states is done with respect to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And the 17 Sustainable Development Goals include job creation, value addition, gross domestic output, etc., plus human development indices and social welfare measures and everything. Ever since that public affairs index ranking was started in 2016, Kerala has ranked number 1. And it has ranked number 1 by a mile. There is so much daylight between number 1 and number 2. What has been always very interesting for me is, this was never news in the Kerala media. On the day the Public Affairs Index ranking is released by the Niti Aayog, it figures in Times of India and Hindustan Times and the New Indian Express, not in our media here. And even if it does figure here, it will be in page 5 in a small item. I remember once when, for the 4th year running, when Kerala had been rated number 1 again, I searched in a leading Malayalam daily to see whether there was any mention of this. Why I'm saying this is, this points towards us as Malayalis, I think, and our willingness to, to listen to facts and listen to reason, because we are so sure of whatever is in our mind. No? We know everything. Namakkellavarkkum ariyavunnathu pole is the vachakam with which you start sentences. Which means what they are saying is in bracket, and therefore we don't need to look at any of the facts. Like a wise man said, I've got a closed mind, please don't confuse me with the facts. So I'm just saying this not to prove any particular point, but these are objective assessments. So obviously, if our perception conflicts with these objective assessments, we should try to think, why is that so? Because these are objective assessments by non-partisan organizations. Now let's just come to some figures. I mean, some of the names in terms of, for example, where you have some standard for comparison is, if you have a public sector or a large private sector undertaking which has enterprises working both in Kerala and outside Kerala, then you can sort of compare, isn't it? Yes, that's a good laboratory case. Unfortunately, we don't have too many such cases. Those cases that we do have are public sector enterprises, and mostly central public sector enterprises. And their experience at a time when ITI was running well, Indian Telephone Industries, when it was running well, when HMT was running well, when Instrumentation Limited was running well, when companies like that were all at their... What was well known was that the Kerala units were often Hindustan Newsprint, another classic example. Hindustan Newsprint went into decline. But of its 4 manufacturing plants, big manufacturing plants, there was only one which was running at a profit, and that was the one in Vellore Newsprint. ITI, when the head office of Indian Telephone Industries in Bangalore, which is considered to be the paradise of new enterprises, etc., was running at a loss, the Kanjikode unit was running at a profit. So, but even there, like I said, these are anecdotal. These are some examples. I just put these out there because at least we have some basis for comparison which tells us something about productivity, that why can the same enterprise and a unit running outside the state and a unit running in Kerala, the one in Kerala is running better. Hindustan Latex, which has HLL Lifecare, which is now called, which has their plants here and in Belgaum and in a couple of other places. It's the Trivandrum units which are bailing out that company, which are keeping the company profitable and highly productive. Some aggregate figures I will say, and I will stop because I think I need to cut short here. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. In 1990, there was a narrative that deindustrialization was happening in Kerala. Because what was happening was the traditional manufacturing sector, please remember, in Kerala, the industrial sector, primarily the manufacturing sector, was dominated by traditional manufacturing. That is coir processing, cashew processing, some basic spices, that is cleaning and packing and shipping, etc. These were the dominant industries. And they were declining because of wages going up in Kerala. These industries migrated out of Kerala, were migrating out of Kerala. And the impact on Kerala's industrialization was devastating because it meant that the largest employers and largest contributors to the industrial output of Kerala were leaving Kerala. So in 1990, it was estimated that the share of industrial output in the gross state domestic product of Kerala had fallen below 10% and was falling. In fact, it was at one of those, in the 1980s or early 90s, it had fallen even to 7% of GDP. Now, the GDP at that time in Kerala was in dollar terms. Let's just not get into all the niceties of is it current dollar or is it, are we factoring in inflation or, but just for comparison purposes, the gross state domestic product of Kerala at that time was $35 billion. And less than 10% of that was contributed by industry, by manufacturing industry. Today, Kerala's GDP is about $140 billion. And 13% of gross state domestic product of Kerala is contributed by manufacturing. Now just do the mathematics here. What was the industrial output in, gross industrial output in Kerala of less than around $3 billion in 1990s has grown to something like $15 billion in today, in 2020, which was the most recent data I could get. Now look at it. That happened during a time when the traditional manufacturing sector was declining. So obviously, the decline would have had an impact. It was compensated by something. What was that? That is curious, isn't it? Anybody should ask the question, no? When the industrial output is declining so clearly with cashew industry and coir and all this migrating away or shutting down, how come the that decline has been arrested and then now it has started growing again? And that is what I tried to write about in my fourth book, which was titled Below the Radar, How Modern Manufacturing Grew by Stealth in Kerala. That was the title. It almost grew by stealth, nobody knowing about it. And the kind of industries which came in are the kind of industries like the business which I started. Which was to manufacture modern medical devices. Then you had Synthite, which was started by C.V. Jacob with an initial investment of 5 lakhs or 10 lakh rupees. And today has a group turnover of 3,500 crores. And then, or you have PK Steels, which was started by Mr. Ahmad, who was a flour mill owner in Calicut, who went and took over Janata Steels, which was a sick, small steel re-rolling mill. And today, when Forbes writes about the 8 best, most profitable steel casting makers in the world, there is only one Indian company in that list, and that is PK Steels of Kozhikode. And then you have, for instance, when people talk about, if you want to talk about which is India's biggest electronics hardware exporter, and if we discount all this Foxconn and Wistron kind of what I call CKD jobs, where completely knocked down, all made in China, components are brought and assembled by underpaid girls sitting, 10,000 of them sitting in a big shed in Hosur and in Sri Perumbudur and other places. If we discount those kind of things which hardly add much value, which is estimated at 3 to 5% value addition is only done. And if you take serious manufacturing, then you have companies like OEN Connectors here with Pamela seated here, or you have a company like SF4 Technologies. SF4 Technologies makes from scratch high technology imaging equipments for 2 of the most demanding customers in the world, GE of the US and Philips of Holland, and ships them to the final customers without pre-inspection. look at the respect which they have for this manufacturing and system capabilities of a contract manufacturer who can do that. That is in Kakinada. This factory is located in Kakinada. So like this, I have profiled 50 companies. The good news is, after my book came out, I have got many personal emails and WhatsApp messages from people saying, Mr. Balagopal, you didn't write about this company, you forgot about that company. And while I was thanking them for all that information, what I'm trying to say is, what is interesting and common features about all, and there's Agape Diagnostics sitting, Thomas John sitting there. I was briefly I was there on his board for one term as an independent director. It's a phenomenal feat with the leading in vitro diagnostic test kit and reagent maker in India. It's in Pattimattam here, not in Bombay, not in Pune or all the so-called high-tech hubs. These are things we don't know about. And somehow these have escaped our notice. And these are not just one or two. And I think I will wind up here because I have a lot more to say, but there's a time constraint. The most extraordinary response I have is somebody, a person who I respect a lot, and who's a well-known figure, reviewed my 4th book and said he liked the way the evidence was marshaled, the case studies were presented, this and that, and the very persuasive and provocative case which I was making. But he ends up by saying, but that means all the 50 cases which I am talking about are exceptions. Even then, he refused to accept that there could be something happening in Kerala which we are missing. He said, no, they are all exceptions. I really don't know what to do in such a case, about that. So all I'm saying is, see, some of the people sitting here may have experienced and may know people who have experienced some kind of distress. I think this is not like an agony aunt session where we each come and say what our problems are and ask for these things. Business people and entrepreneurs are people who are the kind of people who don't need to be spoon-fed, who don't need to be, given all kinds of sops. The true entrepreneur is a person who smells an opportunity and will not be willing to accept any obstacle in his or her path. They will break down the obstacle or find a way around it. That is entrepreneurship. And the good news, my friends, is there are hundreds of cases of this. So what has happened is actually that Kerala is transforming. Industry in Kerala is transforming from a basic processing of locally available raw materials into if you take manufacturing sector, getting the raw material from wherever it is available, processing it here and shipping it to where it's most profitable. What else is the definition of globalization? Globalization means and this is exactly what countries like Taiwan and South Korea are doing, where they don't have any raw materials. Theirs is merely the manufacturing capacity, manufacturing capability based on a highly skilled workforce and an enabling environment which enables, and most of those companies are SMEs, as happens to be the case in the case of Kerala also. There may be a few exceptions with a few large corporates which can grow into great scale, but most of the story is also about SMEs. So I think I will just end on that point that on the basis of the evidence, if any state has the chance of becoming, of doing what Taiwan did and becoming the Taiwan of India, it is Kerala. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone right for today's B2B sessions and eagerly waiting for your 4th book release. I now request A. Balakrishnan, President KMA, and Bibhu Ponnuran to present a memento as a token of our love and respect to Mr. Sri Balagopal. This is a specially curated memento from KMA. We've managed to fix the bug, so let us now tune in to the message from Mr. Suman Billa.
I would like to thank the organizers of the 41st Annual Management Convention, the Kerala Management Association, for inviting me to speak at this event. The theme of this convention is very vital for India, which is beyond boundaries, fostering management excellence. Today, we live in a fast-changing world. The fourth industrial revolution is fast overtaking us, and there are developments like artificial intelligence which are accelerating the adoption of technology, and industry is changing beyond what we normally presume it to be. And I think what this rapidly evolving scenario requires is very nimble management, which is able to see the future and which is able to proactively adapt to this future. India today is a world leader in industrialization. If we have to live up to our promise, we have to adapt to technology fast, and we have to create the management skills which will keep the country in good stead. Kerala has done exceptionally well in the field of industrialization in the past few years. And one of the most important things that we have done is the release of the new industrial policy 2023. And the premise where we started from that was that Kerala faces certain limitations. The first is the high cost of land. The second is relatively high cost of labor. And the third is that we have a very fragile environment. But we also have one big advantage that many places in the world do not have, which is highly skilled manpower, which runs many economies all over the world. So the idea really is to see as to how we can get into industries which can use this highly skilled manpower as fuel to emerge as world leaders in areas which are high-tech and which are emerging. And therefore, the industrial policy firmly places several sectors like graphene, like 3D printing, high-tech agriculture, medical devices, etc., and gives all of its a focus by way of investment and subsidies to making these industries take root in Kerala. Along with high-tech, we also thought that we must build the industry from the grassroots up, and which is why in the last financial year we started with the Year of Enterprises, and we said the target for us would be setting up 1 lakh enterprises. Normally, we see about 15,000 new enterprises coming up in Kerala every year. So when we set this target of 1 lakh, we thought that it was ambitious. But when we finished the year, we finished it with 1,40,000 enterprises. And as of December 31st, 2023, that number has crossed 2 lakh enterprises. It has created over 4 lakh employment opportunities and has brought in investment of over 8,000 crores. Kerala also can hugely benefit by drawing in the NRI investments, especially of those who are outside. As most of us know, NRK investments are flush in the banks that are here, and we need to see as to how we can productively utilize that investment to create a productive economy within the state of Kerala. So I think a lot of work also needs to be done as to how to channelize these NRK investments into productive economic areas for the state. One of the schemes that we've also started is called the private industrial estates, where if you have land, the government will give you money to up to 3 crores to build out a private industrial estate. And these are also things that NRKs who have land in Kerala can make use of. So I think today we live in at a very critical time. We almost live on the cusp of great industrial change. And I think this idea of this theme for this year's convention is very, very vital. And I hope that the convention will be able to deliberate on some of these things and especially create pathways for Kerala for the future. I wish all the best for the deliberations. Jai Hind.
Every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. They say every such story often started with a dream and began with a failure. Let us find out more about such success stories from eminent speakers for today's panel discussion. Our first panel discussion is about public sector success stories. Our panelists for the session are Mr. Madhu S. Nair, Chairman and Managing Director, Cochin Shipyard Limited. With over 35 years of experience with the Cochin Shipyard, he was the key driver in forging alliances with international technology partners and was also instrumental in conceptualizing the small ship division and a key player in bagging international contracts while he was heading the marketing division. Under his leadership, Cochin Shipyard Limited became a listed company after a very successful IPO. He is also a member of various professional bodies, including the Royal Institution of Naval Architects UK and the Institution of Naval Architects India. Our next panelist for the session is Mr. Kishore Rangta, Chairman and Managing Director, FACT Limited. Known to be a turnaround specialist in reviving Sikh Industries unit, Kishore Rangta is presently the Chairman and Managing Director of the Fertilizers and Chemicals Travancore Limited, FACT, a Government of India enterprise, under the Department of Fertilizers, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. He is also the Vice Chairman of SCOPE, which is the apex professional organization representing the central government public enterprises. He is also Chairman of FAI Southern Region, which is the apex body of fertilizers and manufacturers. The discussion will be moderated by Mr. K. Harikumar, Managing Director, Malabar Cements Limited and the Travancore Cochin Chemicals Limited. He is a specialist in transforming the Sikh industries to healthy. Mr. Harikumar is a senior business leader with a successful track record of corporate turnaround, having more than 19 years of experience in the board level, including 10 plus years of executive chairman at the Hindustan Insecticides Limited and 6 plus years as a managing director, spanning across chemicals, pharma, and cement. He has 40 plus years of experience in the Indian chemical industry, and his equation with the industry has always been good. He is a recipient of several awards, and one amongst this is an award from the Prime Minister for excellence and outstanding contribution to public sector management. I invite our esteemed panelists and the moderator onto dais and now hand over the proceedings to Mr. Harikumar.
Audible? Okay. Thank you very much. I'm indeed proud to welcome two greatest leaders the public sector has seen in Kerala. Mr. Madhu S. Nair has been in the news. Yesterday he was with the Prime Minister. They launched almost 2,700 crore investment in Kerala. And we have Mr. Kishore Rungta, who has turned around FACT, which has been in the minds of Kerala because every Keralite is very, very passionate about FACT, which he keeps on saying. When we talk about public sector, I'm reminded of a book by Louis Gessner, who turned around IBM. The book is called Who Says Elephants Can't Dance? These are the people who really make elephants dance. Because public sector with the monolith, with the huge investments, with a comparatively high manpower, with lot of procedural issues and all that to manage with, has really shown that public sector can really perform. See, before I hand over the mic, I would, for the benefit of the audience who are not very familiar, because this is basically an international conference. See, public sector generally means organizations where more than 51% of the stake is held by the government. And as far as India is concerned, public sector plays a very, very important role because public sectors have contributed to more than 33 lakh crore of the gross revenue in the Indian economy. It has also, the operating profit of the public sector, I'm basically talking about the central public sector units, it is more than 3 lakh crores. And the PSUs, which are generally, not looked upon as profit earners, has paid more than 1 lakh crore as the dividend. And we have companies like IOC, LIC, ONGC, State Bank of India, etc. in the world's Fortune 500 list. So public sector is not something which has to be seen with an eye of doubt. These are all performing public sector undertakings, and we have two eminent personalities who are working very much within the state, who can basically vouch for that. And when we start, you all must have seen in the advertisement of the KMA, which has a tagline that elevate your leadership. These are the people who have elevated the leadership style, who have steered the company against many odds, and who has really made the companies perform. Before we start the session, I will just say a few words about, let us start with FACT, which is an older company. We have Mr. Kishore Rungta, and before he took over, FACT, as you all know, was loss-making. It was sick, and today it has a market capitalization of more than 50,000 crores. It posted a sale of 6,400 crores last year and profit of more than 600 crores in 2023. And on CSL, it is a Schedule A, Mini Ratna PSU, where the market capitalization, if I'm correct, is around 10,000 crores? 20,000 crores, okay. CSL has been hitting the headlines very recently. And yesterday only, the Honorable Prime Minister launched the ship repair facility, and he said that Kerala is going to be the hub. And they recently, in 2022, they delivered India's first world aircraft carrier. They are also in the process of launching world's first zero-emission feeder container using hydrogen fuel cells. It has multi-locational facilities, and the turnover was 2,400 crores in 23 and an EBITDA of 522 crores. Mr. Beji George, unfortunately, he could not be here, so I will not be getting into that. So I will just request Mr. Rungta, I will take it forward with Mr. Rungta. Mr. Rungta ji, welcome. See, you have worked in the public sector as well as the private sector. And here you will be sharing the public sector stories. So my basic question to begin with, how do you differentiate between working in a public sector and in the private sector?
Thank you very much. Hello, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hari Kumar, for introducing me to the August gathering here. And since I have been working in the private sectors and the public sector both, almost 15 years experience I had in the private sectors, initial careers, and later 20, 25 years in the public sector. Let me tell you very frankly, this is the questions, first question was asked when I went for the chairman interview in the PSP board. They asked me, what is the difference between the private sectors and the public sectors, and how come you have come from private sector to the public sector? So my answer was very clear. I said, when we used to work in the private, I was director, prior to that I was director in the public sector also. So I said the chairman PSB, Public Enterprise Selection Board, that when I was working in the private sectors, there is only very thin difference. In the private sectors, we do the job and tell the boss that we have done it and how we have done it. In the public sector, sometimes people say we could not do the job and they justify that why they could not do it. But end of the day, when I was working in the private sectors, the chief executives of that private sector was invariably from public sector. So if you want to be the chief executive of a private sector, a president of the private sectors, you will find, you name any big organizations that is being headed by a person who was heading the public sector. So this is the talent public sector has got. End of the day, private sector must be doing good profit, everything fine. But in the public sector, as Mr. Hari Kumar said, in spite of lot of barriers, lot of check and balance, still we perform. So when the public sector executives go to the private sectors, he delivers much better results than what he used to deliver in the public sector. So I feel I have answered your questions. As far as the public sector is concerned, we have a let-down procedures, we have let-down practice, and within that practice and the procedures, we have to perform and deliver our results. Whereas in the private sectors, the decision-making is very fast because there is one-man show and decision can be taken the way you want. But in public sector, we have to keep a lot of things under supervision. Thank you.
He just gave an insight between difference in working in the private sector and the public sector. And see, he's a person who has moved across industries and who has moved across companies also. But when we talk about Mr. Madhu S. Nair, he has been with shipyard right from the beginning, if I am not mistaken. And he's a committed shipyardian, and he has really worked his way up, and he has achieved tremendous, his achievement has been tremendous as the chairman of shipyard. See, shipyard, once upon a time, I remember, had a CMD. I don't remember his name, but he moved out saying that nothing is possible in shipyard. I remember Mr. Bajwa or somebody, he was there. From that stage to today, when shipyard has become an icon of Kerala, when shipyard has become a key driver of the index of the stock exchange, you recently halved your share price face value from 10 to 5 and the market went for a zoom. And today you are sitting on an order book of more than 10,000 crores. So the journey must have been challenging. Can you please elaborate on the journey?
Thanks, Harikumar. And good morning, and thanks to KMA for having me here. See, for me, as Mr. Harikumar said, it's been a long journey, but it's been a very enriching and gratifying journey. I joined Kochi Shipyard as an executive trainee straight out of college, and as we are speaking, it's been about 35 and a half years. And when we joined the shipyard, 88, I joined the shipyard, and by early 90s, things were very bad. We were on the streets of Cochin, literally something called SOS. You know what SOS is, but this was Save Our Shipyard, and marching with a begging bowl on the streets of Cochin, with a wiped out net worth of almost minus 150 crores. And from there, just to cut the story short, today the net worth is a positive 4,500 crores. And if somebody feels the government put money into it, the government has not put 1 rupee into it. This money has actually happened from within the company. But then this journey has been one of perseverance. The journey has been one of firm belief, integrity, a set of people who really believes in value systems, integrity, and have faith. All of us could have run away. We all had our opportunities all over the world. For me personally, I have a master's from the Osaka University in Japan, and I had to give it in writing that because Osaka University wouldn't let a graduate go out and then turn back and say I didn't get a job kind of a thing. So they wanted it in writing. I had to give it in writing that I don't need a job in Japan. What I want to say is it's not about Madhu S. Nair. It's about a set of people. It's about a set of hardcore professionals who believe, who see integrity and value in what you do. And it's not always about money. It's much more about the society. It's much more about the whole concept of life, respect. And last 36 years, as Balagopal was trying to allude, Balagopal was painting a picture which I wouldn't fully subscribe to, but I largely subscribe to a part of that picture. There is this feeling that nothing will happen in Kerala. Kind of a feel was there. This is the land of strikes, Nokuguli and Attimari. Yes. Are we putting it under the carpet? The fact is, all of those in some form are still there. Let's be very clear. But he was trying to allude to other states and say, is it all hunky-dory over there? No. There's no place like that anywhere in the world. Everywhere, each place has got its problems. So people like us, what we said is let's not just aspire for something, let's make that happen here, if it's possible. Because we live here, can we do something here? So what we tried to do is, there's been a lot of respect within the shipyard. across all levels. Last 35 years, our permanent strikers in this land of so-called land of strike, our permanent workers have not struck work even for one single day in the last 35 years, which people are not aware. I should correct it, one day, yes. One day is when we did an IPO, when we were going for IPO, and people thought that, and people still feel this is the first step towards privatization, so they did strike. And I feel perfectly fine with it, because that's the democratic rights of any trade union and any society. So, but just see this, they just did it for one day, just one day in the last 35 years. But that kind of respect, we have been able to build up a system, and we have had our second chairman. Many people are not probably aware. The first chairman has been Vice Admiral Mr. Krishnan, who was the war hero, Pakistan War Liberation. The second CMD is, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but this is none other than Dr. E. Sridharan, Metro Man. So Metro Man's advice to people like me at a point of time has been, and I carry it with my heart, very early in your career, and he says, he repeats, he says, do this very early in your career, acquire the perception of a person with integrity. And he says, again he repeats, acquire the perception of a person with integrity, because perception is very important. Perception largely follows reality, but it need not always follow reality. So you'll have to have the perseverance, because reality will finally come into your perception, but sometimes, you know, you can do away with gimmicks also. Gimmicks won't last for long. Once you have this image of a person with integrity, in public life, be very clear, I don't consider myself in public life, but many people, at least the society considers people like us as government servants in public life. I consider myself as a standing corporate, and I don't consider myself as an extended arm of the government. I have gone on record at the highest levels in the country. I said we are not an extended arm of the government. But this image of a person or people with integrity would be very important if you are to continue in public life, because at some point, dirt will be thrown at you. And when dirt is thrown at you, once you have this aura of a person with integrity, it doesn't stick on you. This is your protection, and this you have to do very early in your career. This was Dr. E. Sridharan's advice. We all carry this very, very strongly in our heart. Once we had this image of integrity at the management, at the senior management, at the mid-management level, everybody is with you. This entire workforce is with you. The society is with you. The governments want your success. They all. So the goodwill is extraordinary, and I feel a company like ours can work only with goodwill. So this long journey has been one of goodwill. Today, as Sri Harikumar said, 2007 onwards, we are listed on the stock exchange. We were hardly given a multiple of 8. And today we are given a very high multiple. I don't want to talk too much on the stock market. Balakrishnan can do that better. But whether it should be 8 or 50, let the markets decide. But I think people are realizing the value. Today, market cap as on today is some 3,000 crores. We have an order book position of 22,000 crores plus. We have exported vessels into West Europe. We're strong on defense. We are strong on the non-commercial side. Have invested heavily into the state. We are today 7 units all over India. Not many people are aware of this. From one shipyard in Kochi, when I took over, I've been CMD now for 8 years. Today we are 7 units, and we are extremely thankful and grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister for coming down, sparing time and doing that extra bit of motivation. The Prime Minister, Chief Minister together doing this for us is big thing. And I think there's a lot of energy in us to move forward. We would like to be, because at a point of time when I joined the shipyard, ആൾക്കാർ പറയായിരുന്നു അവിടെ കയറണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്തായാലും നല്ല പിടിപാട് വേണ്ടേ. ഇന്നും ആൾക്കാർ അത് തന്നെ പറയുന്നു. This is one thing. As we move forward, probably there are core values in us which, if we can hold cherished, I think we can bring those successes. And to start off with a little bit of disagreement with Sri Balagopal, because I have seen this a little bit of large political narrative developing in this country. We started with North-South. We are starting to compare states. I would desist from doing any of this. I would be a proud Indian. I would be a proud global citizen. And comparison can be done, but then comparisons should not lead to any sort of, it can only be very, very positive comparisons. I would desist from any negative comparisons between states or between entities or kind of formations. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. He talked like true Indian. And you all must have noticed he also shared his success mantra. He was talking about generating goodwill, not only among the employees, but also among the public. He also talked about the necessity of the importance of integrity. He also shared perception was another point he harped upon, and he also talked about perseverance. So these are the qualities which made him a really good leader, and let us all give him a big hand to that. Anyway, now we heard the mantra from Mr. Madhuvesh Nair. I would now request Mr. Rungta to share his mantra, basically because FACT was, though it was a very passionate to the people of Kerala, when I was in Delhi, I have seen all the MPs in Kerala unanimously asking only for one thing, that is, please handhold FACT. So I shared it with him also, and he has really done that, and he has really turned around FACT, and FACT today perhaps has the highest market capitalization in the fertilizer sector, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So FACT has been a really acclaimed restructuring story. I would request you to share your mantras on that.
Thank you, sir. Let me tell you, this FACT, as far as you know all much better than me, it is a 75-year-old company. In fact, it was there even the, what you call Kerala state took place. It was set up by the then king of the Travancore. And the company was established in 1943, and we started production from 1947. So it's 75 years. This year we are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75th years. And in the chemical industry, surviving for 75th year is not a joke. So that is why the company has seen lot of ups and downs. And basically we are in the fertilizer sectors, so a lot of things are not under our control. As I told, as you know, the market, the fertilizer which is all depends on weather condition, monsoon. And the raw material which we purchase depends on the international scenarios. But somehow, we still survive for 75 years, and the credit goes to the state government, the central government, and to the employees of this company who make it possible to happen. When I took this company in the year 2019, the company was not doing so good because it was going through a rough weather, as you said correctly. But as a finance man, if you can read the balance sheet very carefully, you will understand where the disease is and how to diagnose it and how to rectify it. So for running any industry, if you can mobilize your machines, your manpower, man, machine, money, and materials in a proper way, you will get the success. We diagnosed it properly, and then we took an oath. When I joined first year, I told my team, let us make the business plan, and the business plans cannot be less than 1 million ton production, because I understand the company can produce up to 1 million ton. So that was the starting point, and then we imbibed in the mind of the people that we can do it, never give up. This was the theory. And so we developed a business plan for 1 million ton. And as Mr. Madhu said very rightly, he is there for a long time, but I'm there for 5 years. Not a single day there is any strike in my company. So I don't know what type of image we are creating about the Kerala, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm only 5 years here. Mr. Madhu Nair is there for a long time. But in the last 5 years, there is no strike. And let me tell you, you should read the balance sheet very carefully. What is the labor contents in your cost of production? If you see my case, in the 6,000 crore turnover, the labor cost, total employee cost is 300 crore. So which is well below 5% of the total cost of production. So we don't break our head too much in the unfair labor practice, because that is hardly constitutes 0.5% and 1% of the total cost of production. So we focus only on the 95% of the balance expenditure, which is majorly raw material, the power, fuel, and the gas. If you save a 1% and 5% there, it makes a big difference. So as far as FSCT is concerned, look into all those petty things, because if you go to any other states, there are certain issues. We only discuss in the Kerala the labor unpracticed. They charge little high. I agree. My concern was only when we go for the annual shutdown, the tendency of the contract labor was that they will prolong the shutdown, because they feel that if the shutdown is for 30 days, they will get wages for 30 days. If the shutdown is for 40 days, they will get it for 40 days. But they don't understand, if I save 1 day, I save 2 crore rupees. I save 3 crore rupees. So for a petty amount, the company has to cough off very huge amount. That is where I am trying to convince my contract laborers. You take little higher money, but never compromise with the productivity. Never compromise with the efficiency. Otherwise, other than this, I have no issue in my company. The company is doing good. And where, as Mr. Balgopal has told very categorically, this state has got real intellectuals. I have worked in, this is my 13th or 14th state where I am working, but I have never seen officers, the employees so intellectual and efficient in any other states. This is the biggest assets I am having. And that is the reason why we could turn around, because of the strength of my employees. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So if I can just add on to what Mr. Rungta said. In fact, this particular point, harping too much on this labor cost. Yes, you can't loot labor here. There is a particular cost. But what we also have seen, if the labor is productive, if you can actually bring that better value within the time. So prolonging work or not controlling time is the most important part. And this really is not a labor problem, this is a management problem. It's the labor will work because we learnt it from our labor. When we were young, when we were pushing them hard, they would turn back and say, so you are here as a manager, I am here as a worker. I am for the skill. So the whole thing was because you are not able to get things done because sometimes your resources, your supply chain is not in place, your plans are not okay. He is saying that I am ready to weld, I am ready to work. What should I weld? What should I work? So many a times it's not the quality of his welding. This he says, you find fault with my quality of welding, he is high quality. So he is saying that the problem is you guys are not managed it well. He is talking to, because I'm saying 35 years back as a young frontline officer. This is in our head because these workers are same. It's only by some God's will that he is a worker and I am an officer. That's all. There is practically no difference. So I think very importantly, this we need to accept it. We have a the Chara and Chomirunda any problem we can put it on the worker. But it's probably, I feel, at least in industries like ours, it's really not on the worker. It's in the management, not just the highest levels of management, as he said, mid-management and junior management.
Thank you. He was basically saying, both of them were basically sharing the idea that the importance of man management in big organizations. And there is no point in blaming the workman alone. The importance of man management is something which cannot be underplayed. And Mr. Rungta was again talking about the necessity of focusing on the cost drivers. There is no point in only blaming the workman. We'll have to look at what exactly are the cost drivers and focus on controlling the cost there. He was also talking about the necessity of right diagnosis, maximizing capacity utilization, and having a proper business plan, right? Now I would again get back to Mr. Madhuvesh Nair. Recently you all read in the newspaper that a new dry dock has been launched yesterday. There's an international ship man repair facility with an investment of almost around 2,700 crores. And the Economic Times in the 15th January, that is day before yesterday's report, credited you with changing the status of CSL from a sleepy also-ran yard to a yard of global repute by building India's first indigenous aircraft carrier and other niche vessels, encouraging innovative and new technology to promote green shipping. I think everything shipyard has planned has come in one line. And see, when we are talking about Kerala, and you are also planning a turnover, I think the Honorable Minister was talking about a turnover of 7,000 crores in 4 years' time. What are the other industries you need in Kerala? Because everything cannot be done by shipyard in-house. So you need ancillary industries, you need support industries and all that. So depending on tagging along with you, a lot of other investments can also come up probably to grow along with you. So you have any specific requirements on the industries you are looking at, so that probably in the B2B meeting somebody will get a queue and start something?
See, what we have done now is we have been implementing this over the last 5 years. These are not easy investments to do. So we have set up a new large dry dock. Cochin Shipyard already had 2 large dry docks, fairly large dry docks, but the newer one is even more bigger, much bigger, 310-meter dry dock. We had preserved precious land in our Tevera campus, about 30 acres. See, we are 170 acres, and today it would all look like, how can a shipyard exist in downtown? But it's the other way around. Tevera was more of a, it was, yes, a little bit residential, but more of a sleepy part, and the city has actually grown around. So people get wonderstruck how there's a shipyard in downtown area. We are 170 acres, but with that 170 acres, we didn't loiter it around. We did not build a single housing accommodation or anything in that land, because we kept it as pure play industrial area. So in that 30 acres, we have invested about 1,800 crores and a new large dry dock. So the impact of this new large dry dock is, straight away, we have proved the country proud by doing this indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant, by which we are now the 6th country in the world which can do such a vessel. Further higher end aircraft carriers could be almost double this size, and LNG ships, Capesize ships, so the large generation vessels can now be handled from this dry dock. This is the impact of that dry dock. So for Cochin Shipyard, and a critical national asset, that's what has been built. What has also been inaugurated yesterday in Wellington Island is a new international ship repair facility. This is 42 acres of land, 42 acres of land area and 40 acres of water area, which we have leased out from Cochin Port over a long term. And we have put in about 970 crores there, built a new ship repair facility. This is India's first pure play ship repair facility. It's a ship lift and workstations, and further expandable. With this, what we are doing is, Cochin Shipyard, as you know, is active in shipbuilding and ship repair. Almost 70% of our revenues is shipbuilding, 30% is ship repair. Both have got good growth potential. Ship repair works in clusters. Globally, the Dubai cluster, the Singapore cluster, the couple of Chinese clusters are most prominent. What we are trying to do is, Cochin now, with this new single ship repair facility that we have created today, is adding almost 30% to India's ship repair ecosystem. So let me first talk about that ship repair part, because that is what would need much more of supply chain and services. Right now, we are handling about 80 ships in Cochin every year. This will straight away go to about 150 ships. And double. Yeah, double in about 2 years' time. First year, we'll handle about 40 and odd. But ship repair works, but you need a lot of service providers. So it's essentially an ancillary park. We have triggered a small thing by setting up a maritime park. In fact, it's already opened 2 years back in Wellington Island, but that is ours. We have set it up, and we have units over there. 11 of the units have already been given out. We have brought in international, for example, companies like KMA in Germany, and all are occupied over there. Essentially, at the end of the day, it's Cochin Shipyard ship repair ecosystem, but the players are all private enterprise. So essentially, we become a platform, and this is how it works globally. What we are trying to do on the international ship repair front is, we have already reached out to 18 of the best ship repair companies, and in about 12 countries worldwide. We are seeing strong traction from the Middle East, Spain, a Korean company. But at least we are seeing strong traction from the Middle East. because these are systems where Keralites and Indians have strong ancillary industries. What we are trying to do is, can we shift this ecosystem? We will get a global operator shortly along with us, and can we shift this ecosystem here? Cochin Port has identified about 100-acre land. This is beside the International Maritime University. Kerala government is very keen, Minister Rajiv, KSIDC, they are all very keen. But we are not getting into a real estate act. We are not here. We are a shipbuilding, ship repair company. We stay there. But if it's to be triggered, if a new ecosystem is to be triggered, 5 or 10% stake, we are ready, but nothing more than that. But this would be about private enterprise. So we'll need a few hundred private auxiliary companies to come in. Just for information of the audience, like we over the last 40 years have developed an ecosystem which is around 350 MSMEs in and around Cochin, Kerala area. Broadway, Jew Street, practically all shops work around with us. And many people are not aware of the cascading effect of an industry like ours. When we do 1x turnover, it's proven statistics that it's around 4 to 6x is what comes into the downstream. Because this 4 to 6x is workshops, service providers. On a given day, I would be hiring about 150 cars. I would be occupying about 250 hotel rooms every day in Cochin. I don't want to talk this, but hospitals, yes, more people, because the 2 new facilities, direct footfalls in the campus is going to be 4,000 additional employment. And this I tell with pride, because this happens at the grassroots level. These are fitters, welders, riggers, at the working level. It's not just the white collar level that's happening. So we need service providers. Same goes for shipbuilding. So service providers and ancillary companies, and we are scouting worldwide in the we are trying to model this around the Dubai Maritime City.
So these are the intangible contributions big organizations make to the society. I think we are running out of time. I would now request the audience, in case there are any questions, kindly stand up, introduce yourself, and then ask the question to the dignitaries. We have time only for 2 or 3 questions, not more than that. Thank you. Any questions? Otherwise, we can move forward.
Good morning, team. Good morning, KMA. My name is Achi Kuriakus. I'm the president of Kerala Business Forum in Qatar. And as I was just listening to the good stories here, one of the biggest challenges what every NRI in the Middle East is having is, again, we have a reverse migration. We cannot stay there for long. And whenever we are coming in and having some investments here, as rightly said, the fear of the hartals and the no-kubuli and all these things are moving backwards. And whenever there's an investment happening, the chances of winning it is maybe a minimum in numbers. So what do you say, like, especially for having people who are not in the state and managing their business remotely? How do you think of the potential for them in getting into bigger infrastructures and bigger investments, especially like the public-private partnerships, as well as the new projects like the Cochin Shipyard and all are coming in with the private investments? Thank you.
I think there is a good potential, but let's be clear. Business is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's nothing on a platter. You'll have to work for it. You'll have to have the domain understanding. If you do not have the domain understanding, I would suggest don't jump into it. But if the domain understanding is there, we'll have to get people. We have to treat people with respect. You'll need local people. You will need external involvement also. Like if people working in the Middle East, that expertise can also be brought in. But many times I have seen at least people who have operated in the Middle East, very fast they get frustrated. See, they see all these as problems. For us, this is life. There's a little bit of difference here. For us, this is our bread. There is no problem. What we see as normal, sometimes people from outside see it as a problem. If you can bridge this gap, actually, I'm not saying everything is fine. There is blackmailing, red mailing, green mailing, everything is there. But that's what businessmen or professionals are made of. We We don't succumb to it, you know. But let us be very clear. Conviction, politely, being firm, being absolutely respectful. For me, my lowest worker is very, very important for me. My officer is very important for me. I try to give them, I can't, as a public sector, I don't give them the highest salaries. But I take care of his families. 6 of his family members, I cover them under absolute good insurance cover. Because I know that one day if he has a problem and runs into a hospital, so I take care of that. That is my contribution. I try to get him into good schools. We have an association with the Bhavan School. Or we try to pay the fees. My salaries are not the best. But I have always gone and used the word I can and respect. And my favorite saying is I can't talk about the salary package, but I talk about the package of life. I'm convinced on that.
Thank you. And just to add to it, I rather would love to call upon your, one of the suggestions is, it's not the labor problem, it's the management problem.
It is 100%.
Thank you, sir.
It is not a labor problem.
Okay, one more. I can see a hand raised.
Good morning. Myself, Smithish Jose, co-founder and CEO of AIVIS. We are an automated machine learning platform provider enabling organizations to adapt AI quickly. My question is, being the public sector place, how quickly your companies are adapting technologies and how is the journey towards adapting new technologies especially?
I think I'll take that question. See, basically for any company to survive, technology adoption is very, very, very essential. I am now heading basically a chemical company which is highly energy intensive, wherein electricity alone accounts for almost 40% of the cost. So in industries like that, where the technology adoption is important, it is absolutely essential that we stay at the top of the curve. And I'm sure that the other panelists also would agree. Unless you are current in technology, you will not reach anywhere, because basically in any business for that matter, it's a highly competitive world out there. And we have to optimize on cost. And as told by the fellow panelists, employee is something which we can't do. We can't be doing much in Kerala. So employee cost is something which has to be accepted. Employee cost is something which you have to assume that it will go up. And the other incidental cost and overheads are also on the way up. So unless you improve the technology, you are current on the technology, you will not reach anywhere. And coming to my company, which is Travancore Cochin Chemicals, we are operating, some of the plants we are operating are the first in the country, maybe 4th in the world. That is how advanced we are in adopting technology, and that is true for all the companies here, because unless you are ahead, you will not reach anywhere. If any additions you can make?
Yeah, I'll tell you here the question what he asked very categorically. Let me also tell you the FACT. If you see the total journey of FACT, we started manufacturing fertilizer using fuel, wood as a fuel. Then we converted it into naphtha, then to furnace oil, and now we are running with the RLNG. So unless we upgrade our technology, it is not possible. Today we are running the plant with 120% capacity. All my plants run with 120, 140% capacity. That is all possible when you upgrade the technology and control systems. With 0 accidents, with 120% capacity, running the 75-year-old plant is not possible unless you keep upgrading your plants. Thank you.
So coming a little bit from the fact that there has been this old perception that a public sector has to be inefficient, it has to have sloth, it has to be corrupt. I always repeat this, you know. There has been such a perception. That's all past, that's all gone long time. I just want to say that we run an organization which is brick and mortar of the old type with a sheen of full AI and digital. I'm on the highest levels of ERP, SAP platforms over the last 15 years, integrated into everything in the organization. I'm fully digital, including my security, my camera systems, everything is fully digital. From a technology point of view, we are operating cutting edge technology when we are talking about hydrogen fuel cells. Some of the finest things that's actually happening in the world, we are actually participating in some of those. So from a technology point of view, like digital modeling and 3D infrastructure for our design and engineering, my engineering organization is 300 strong, and the digital systems has been here for the last 30 years. And these days we have migrated to latest Dassault 3D experience systems from France. So people are at a different level. And just to give you a feel, after I had taken over charge, all my officers have actually they've all gone through the premier institutions in India. We have programs where they all go through the IITs and IIMs. Kozhikode IIM does specific custom-made programs for us. The entire senior group, around 200, 250 plus. Every year they go through multiple management programs in the organizations. So times have really changed. We run our digital, we have a startup funding platform where we are even willing to take equity stakes. We have put in about 50 crores already in the initial stage. IMK and IIT Madras are running it. So from a technology, leadership, digital, and wherever AI can come in, we actually try to do that. Some of these places AI and ML can't do right away in our spaces, but we are very clear on that. So we are all over the space, and I think we are all ready for any further technology assimilation. Thanks.
So what is needed is a perception change. So I think we will take it to a close. And let me thank Mr. Madhu S. Nair and Mr. Kishore Rungta for sparing their valuable time. I know Mr. Madhu Nair could be tired after a hectic week with the Prime Minister and all that. So it was indeed a great pleasure to have them along with us. Thank you very much. Thank you for the active participation. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your value, thoughts, and experience. But before we actually wind up, Mr. K. Harikumar, sir, we cannot actually close the session without hearing your success mantra. Would you like to share it in a word or two, please?
Are all the same. He was also talking about integrity. He was talking about generating a goodwill. He was talking about perseverance. See, it's very difficult it is very easy to hang up your boots and say nothing is possible. Everything is possible. And one has to lead from the front. One has to show that, as Mr. Madhu Nair was saying, you should be able to demonstrate that it is doable, and it is not that telling somebody to do it. If he knows that you are able to do it even without him, automatically things will start happening. That is the mantra in short. So there is no point in just raising your hands. Perseverance, integrity, and the determination to stay put will definitely take the company forward. That is my mantra. Thank you very much. As the time is running short, I think mantras we can share even outside this room also.
Thank you so much, all the esteemed panelists. May I now call upon Mr. P.V.S. Nambudiripada and Mr. Jose Philip, past presidents of KMA, to hand over a memento to our esteemed panelists here. I also request the President and Chair of the Convention to join them on the dais, please. President KMA and the President, Chairman Convention to join them on the dais. Trust is his second name. He is more a humane human than a businessman, and the man who has given us fun a different meaning by introducing the concept of amusing parks to Kerala. As the founder and chairman emeritus of V-Guard Industries, he scaled it to make it one of the largest selling stabilizer brands in India before venturing into a host of other electrical appliances. A writer, an investor, a newsmaker, and above all, a philanthropist, Mr. Chittilapalli has received numerous awards and accolades, notable among them being the Kerala Sri Award, the highest civilian award instituted by the government of Kerala, of which he was amongst the first recipient. And it gives me immense pleasure to announce a new feather in his cap, just straight out of the oven today. I'm happy to inform that AKS Kochausip Chittilapalli have been selected by the Rotary International Board of Directors to receive the 2023-24 Service Above Self Award. This is the highest honor to be bestowed on a member. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please. This is not just enough. Let's hear it for Kochausip Chittilapalli. Our next panelist for the session is Mr. George L. Matthew, Chairman Emeritus, Duraflex. As Chairman Emeritus of the 5-decade-old Duraflex Industries that has been helping India sleep better, Mr. George Matthew has been one of the driving forces in guiding Duraflex go places with a variety of sleep solutions. With manufacturing facilities across 8 different locations in India and a strong distribution network, Duraflex is among the leaders in the highly competitive mattress market. Under his leadership, the company is expanding its product line into the furniture and bed linen segment, integrating technology to improve customer experience in more than one way. Our next panelist is Mr. Thomas John, Managing Director, Agape Diagnostics. Starting his career as a production engineer in equipment production with TransAsia Biomedicals Limited, Mumbai, Mr. Thomas's entrepreneurial skill combined with his ambition to do bigger things in life led him to start a business of his own, and thus Agape Diagnostics was born. Under the leadership of Mr. Thomas, Agape is now the fastest growing in vitro diagnostic company with more than 700 strong workforce pan-India. He has been bestowed with several awards, the Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year by TIE Kerala, 100 Most Impactful Healthcare Leaders by Talent Listing globally, to name a few. And today, to moderate the session, we have the very versatile Mrs. Pamela Anna Matthew, Managing Director, OEN Limited. To head a company that was established about 55 years ago and who's a market leader in the electromechanical space is no mean task. And Ms. Pamela Anna Matthew is doing just that. As the Managing Director of OEN India Limited, whose components are used in a variety of industries, including defense and space, consumer electronics and communication, she has seen it all and has steered OEN to its present stature. Apart from her entrepreneurial pursuit, she has also occupied the position of President of Electronic Components India Association, Chairman at Confederation of India Industry, Kerala, President at the Kochi Chamber of President, and Chairman Social Development and Women Empowerment at Confederation of India Industry. I now invite our acclaimed panelists and moderator to the dais. May I now hand over the mic to Mrs. Pamela Anna Matthew to introduce the topic and initiate the discussions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. I'd like to stand. So as all the panelists were introduced, you will find that, you are sitting along with 3 wonders of business right here, okay? So I would not take much of, time of yours in trying to say much more than what you can see and going to hear. I would basically invite each one of the panelists to speak for 3 minutes each. And thereafter, we will give opportunity for people to ask them questions. And first, I would like to invite Kochausip Chittilapalli. Over to you.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. First of all, Thank you for inviting me. My thanks to Balakrishnan and Vibhu. Friends, we are talking about private sector, and I am supposed to be one of the successful businessmen in Kerala. Many times I used to say, since Kerala, number of industries are less, I became a notable person. Otherwise, if I am in Gujarat or in Bombay, nobody is going to notice me. That way, I am blessed. Thank you. Friends, we can find out a number of faults about Kerala. Many people used to discuss, many people used to criticize, okay, Kerala is not at all good for any private business activities. But at the same time, let me ask otherwise, there are so many people who have successful in their life within Kerala, starting industry, diversified into different areas. So then how can we complain about the system? Kerala is a very peculiar state, I believe. Now we believe, including me, we were believing socialism was the perfect ideology, and we were following socialism for the last many years. Even now, I doubt whether we are following socialism or not. I used to say, no, any political party in Kerala, they have a different stand when compared to their Delhi office. To compete with each other, the INTUC or CITU or BMS, they have almost same attitude when we talk about labor problems. But my thinking is, if we are positive, if we are strong in the sense we are powerful in the sense mentally we must be powerful to face any challenges. That is very important. As an entrepreneur, first and foremost thing which I believe is the mental courage and ability to face crisis situations. There will be crisis situations everywhere, whether it is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or even Mumbai, definitely there will be. But according to me, if at all we are successful, V-Guard Group is successful, it's mainly because of the attitude we are following. Attitude in the sense, the quality consciousness we are following, the attitude towards the employees what we are following. Last session, we heard much about the attitude towards the employees. Friends, V-Guard has already completed 47 years already. And we are into different areas also. We are successful because we have a very strong set of managers, engineers, executives, and so on. Plus, even daily wage employees also. So, altogether, I believe there is no meaning in complaining the system. Of course, we do agree that when compared to Tamil Nadu or when compared to, say, or even Gujarat, Kerala is quite backward in industrial, private industries. But there are so many success stories. Then why can't we think about those success stories? I used to tell my children, we can find out number of faults, but at the same time, we can see a lot of there's a ray of hope, and that way, when compared to the say 3-4 decades back, things are far better when compared to 40 years back. That much I can tell you in the beginning. Okay, I would like to hear from others also.
Okay, basically I would say that to put it in a nutshell, Coach Joseph was saying that he is committed, or he has been committed, and he's making others in his organization committed to make things happen. So making things happen, irrespective of what is the background, is the key issue. May I now request Mr. George to share your thoughts.
Thank you for inviting me here today. To be very honest, I don't think I am entitled to this prize or this gift. I retired about 5 years ago, and my nephew and my children have taken over the business, and this award actually should go to them, because I'm not involved in running this business. I can just share my experiences in the business. The past 40 years I've been in business. This company was started by my father way back in 1960, when he imported some latest technology from Germany to make mattresses using coir and rubber. Of course, in 1960s, it's a very, very troublesome. The factory was started in Alleppey because my family had some property in Alleppey. So if you give a flashback, in 60s, Alleppey was the hotbed of communism and unions. And in 61 or so, the government of Kerala passed a rule that you cannot have mechanized coir manufacturing units in Kerala. I think Kerala or Alleppey and those districts. And at that time, there was a strike in the factory, and the unions came there to burn down the factory. So my father, very small built person, he stood in front of the factory and said, I have sold my wife's jewelry. I pledged my property to make this factory. If you have to burn this factory, please burn me also along, because I got nowhere else to go. It's that kind of determination that makes an industry succeed. Challenge the odds that we have faced. That's the only way an industry or industrialists can go forward. He was able to pacify the union leaders and told them this is not an ordinary coir factory. It's a very little high-tech factory which will employ a lot of people and a lot of scope for utilizing the coir fiber available in Kerala. That was the beginning of our Duraflex business. Now, I joined business in 1979-80, and of course, the labor situations are much better at that time. And we had already started factories in Bangalore and Hyderabad by that time. So we did not depend upon only the Kerala factory for the business. What very interesting speech I heard was from Rajiv Gandhi when he came for canvassing for elections, and I think it was 88-89. He said that there was this big fish importer from Europe. He ordered a load of crabs from Kerala. So this exporter from Kerala sent the crabs in a big basket. So this importer was surprised. He asked, why you send them in a basket? They'll all run away. He said, they are Malayali crabs. If one guy tries to get out, the other guy will put him down. This has been a very interesting speech, so which says that the people of Kerala are not very positive in thinking of progress. A lot of people, a lot of Malayalis have gone abroad and done extremely well, but when it comes to Kerala, working in Kerala, it's difficult, it's not very cooperative. In my experience, the most difficult thing to handle was the bureaucrats of Kerala. Not very cooperative. They think business people very suspiciously as somebody who's going to cheat everybody else. But it's changing now. I think the situation is slowly changing with the broad attitude of the people, better education of the people. So I hope that in the future will be better. And as industrialists, it's important that the government and the industries identify what are the industries suitable for Kerala. I don't think a big factory like FSCT or that can be started in the private sector in Kerala. The ideal industries which I find, or ideal employment opportunity I find, is tourism in Kerala. And I again recall a beautiful speech by Prime Minister Modi. He said that if you really want to improve tourism or the high-paying tourism, you have to clean up the place and provide infrastructure. And one example, one big point he made was, actually tourism is more profitable than IT because you don't require skilled labor for tourism. All you require is well-trained people with decency to behave. So, and tourism is very important for Kerala because it can definitely, it is still green. Wherever you go, you still feel green. So that is what people want, and good food, clean environment, and a lot of fresh air, no pollution still so far, no industries, so no pollution. So this is what tourism wants. Recognize that and develop that, because that's the one industry which need not be very big. It can be medium-sized units which can give a lot of potential for employment. It is said that one tourist room can employ nearly 4 or 5 people. Not very educated people, but people who are trained to give good service. This, I feel, is a future for Kerala. Focus on this, and perhaps, I live in Alleppey, you will find so many of tourists coming from North India, enjoying the beautiful the boat trade and food of Kerala. And not very expensive. The homestays, they charge about 2,000 rupees including breakfast. So this is the future of Kerala. Talking about very high, big industries is only a dream. I don't think it's going to come true. We like dreams because I make mattresses for people to sleep and dream. So definitely you must dream, but dream in a good mattress so that people, again, sleep is important because whether you are rich or poor or whether you don't have any money, the important thing of life is to sleep for 8 hours. That's the only way to regenerate your health. And fortunately, earlier, somebody talked about this, the NRI funds coming in. The figures I got was the 1 lakh crores of rupees is being remitted to India, to Kerala, by NRIs working abroad. Now this is one source for which these kind of small industries can do very well, because they require, these people who come down require a comfortable place to live in. Another fast-growing industry which I find is the old age homes. Some of the luxury old age homes in and around Kochi, they charge really fantastic amount. And the population of Kerala is aging. And also the people who live abroad, they like to come back to Kerala and maybe live in these places. So these are the two industries I find which is good for the Kerala. It's good for me also because my mattresses will be used in those industries. So definitely I hope we will come forward to have these kind of industries in Kerala. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. George. That was a marketing gimmick of his. And that is the secret of his success, because he meekly said that, he has withdrawn from the mainstream of his business, but he still says promote tourism where his mattress can be sold, promote care homes for old age where his mattress can be sold. Okay, good. Thank you for saying that. Okay, now over to Mr. Thomas John.
Good afternoon. First of all, my other panelists, seniors of KMA. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would like to give my, not success story, my experience, because I believe that a lot of success yet to come. For my last 35 years of professional career experience, I want to share. First segment, I will talk about myself, then my industry, which is very important, and about my company and future plans. My name is Thomas John. I am basically a Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communications. After that, I've done MBA, and later part, I've done my post MBA from Harvard. 1991, I passed my engineering, and as usual, I went to Bombay, and I got an opportunity to work with a company called Onida for some years. Then later part, I got a very, very good opportunity to work with a similar industry, Transition Biomedicals Limited. I'm hailing from a very educational family. My father was a college principal, my mother was a teacher, which I took it as a great privilege because they always, very, very disciplined life, and they taught me the best of the life where, the hard work or, integrity, all these good qualities, they taught me, they have shown that. So we all got that sort of opportunity to brought up in the life. And when about the industry, when I am talking, I am representing an industry called in vitro diagnostic industry. Why I'm talking the industry? More than the managing director of this company, I am the president of the manufacturing association of this industry in India. This industry is part of the medical device, where medical device industry today, the total business volume is about 90,000 crores, where very unfortunate to say that 80% of the business is managed by multinationals. Same case with in vitro diagnostics, which is about 16,000 crores. About 70 to 75% is managed by multinationals. So when I was working in the Transasia, that in vitro diagnostic company in early 90s, I found that the laboratory diagnostics in the metros and mini metros or rural, there is a big difference, and which can be a good opportunity to give the same solutions to the rural India. That is why Agape born in 1995. And initially almost 10 years we were in Bombay. So we wanted to expand our business, but we had only very limited capital, because that the son of a college principal and school teacher, always a limited fund. So that is the reason when we put up the factory here in near to the city's place called Kolancheri, and because we have some ancestral land. So we set up a plan in 2005. Then again, I would say that definitely we were doing a very miracles in the IVD field. Today, we are about 1,000 people are working and nearly 500 crores company. And the advantage is that from the beginning onwards, we understood that the technology innovation is very important in this field, because the diagnostics, proper diagnostics is just 10% of the cost of treatment. So always to give the proper diagnostics, the highest technology and highest quality of products are very important. So first step we have taken that. For that we require money. That money means research is required. For research, banks will not give money. So we have taken a very big steps of selling part of shares. So we invited a private equity. Dr. Balagopal is very fortunate. It's our real thanks to him that he became one of our board member, independent director. Then this private equity came, and they came with money, but again they came with a lot of I would say that rules, regulations, everything. So almost 10 years we have now associations with the private equity, and I would say that Agape is totally changed with that money. We invested a lot on their research. Today, Agape is one company where 5 to 6% of our total revenue we invested on the research. Lot many products came last 10 years. First is that nephrometer. Nephrometer is not a very new technology, but with that we have made that with using the technology something which is unique to the Indian contest product. So which can help the public during the COVID, because that COVID prognosis, D-dimer, ferritin, almost 70% of the requirements we were managing. And today, after that, we brought the hematology systems. Now, next 2 days, we are going to bring a chemiluminescent systems, first time in India. It's the first time developed and manufactured by our company. So first is that, I would say that inviting partners with some fund, which was a very big steps, and focusing on the research. And the second, I would say that we have invited lot of partners. They are very strong in the technologies, especially partners from Japan, and they brought a lot of technologies to us. Definitely, we had to share a lot of our inputs, but that association always give us a lot of good technology as well as experience. And I want to say that the future, we wanted to definitely today, people say that as an Indian manufacturer, we are number 2 in India, but we have lot many things to do that. This year, hopefully, we'll be touching about 500 crores. Next 3 years, we want to double that business. And next 9 to 12 months, we wanted to come to IPO. Third important thing is that making our team as partners of the company. Today we are 1,000 team. The whole purpose of, now we are coming for IPO is that they can become the partners of the company, and that way we wanted to bring this company to a totally indigenized public enterprises. That is something, which we are looking, and, we are with a very strong core values, and I'm sure that because, this way we will be able to grow. Now, just before concluding about Kerala, I don't have much bad experience about Kerala. We came in 2003. Today I can tell you that because first 10 years I was in Bombay, still our plant is there. So I can compare with Maharashtra with Kerala. When I came in Kerala, I understood that, Kerala, of course, this is a very, very unique land where, lot of intellectuals are there. And Kerala where, the polluting industries may not be feasible because of the total land, available land is very, very less compared to other areas. So for the industry like us, Kerala is very good. We got a very good support. I'm not talking or supporting any political party, but we got a very good support from the government and any government, very good support. And more than all these things, the officials, government, so-called bureaucrats, they were giving very good support to us because corruption's levels today, I can say that, I don't need to talk much on that, but probably 1/100th compared to other states. I'm not here to compare any states, but Kerala always, invite people. But always we have to understand one thing, make everybody as equal, because that is something, you can, as an entrepreneur, you can win with all these sort of limitations. So that is what we were doing, and I'm sure that, definitely this sort of non-polluting industries can definitely come up. I can tell you that people always talk about IT, people always talk about tourism, but my line, medical device, Kerala can be one of the best choice. With one example I can conclude here. Today, the medical device industry is 90,000 crores, but 20% of that is manufactured from Kerala. Even you compare the chemical industry or pharma industry, I can tell you only 1% from Kerala. So there is a great scope of medical device because it is not polluting industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Basically, he was highlighting on the commitment the company has for giving importance to R&D. Innovation and support technology has been the important part of his business. And lastly, what he was trying to point out was, making everybody a partner. Involvement is very, very important as far as business is concerned. Involvement by all stakeholders, which is very, very crucial, especially in the land of Kerala. So with these words, I would invite, audience to possibly ask specifically questions directed to each individual or general. Okay, over to the floor. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ross Masood. I run a company called Great India Tour Company. I was quite excited when you talked about tourism. But the only question that I have is, so you're saying that the number of rooms should increase, but there is also something called the carrying capacity of a location. Like you can't have too many rooms in a place like Tekadi. There are rooms, I agree, but the quality of the rooms is what brings revenue into the place. And even in Munnar, today the situation is that you can't walk around on the streets because it's so crowded on weekends. How do you tackle this one? And then there is one point that I would like to highlight here is that today the mantra is not just tourism, it is responsible tourism. And that is what brings in more revenue all over the world. You can take the examples of Africa where not Africa, Kenya, where the guides are all ex-poachers. They have been converted to guides and they know about the place and like that. So is there anything that you could talk about that part of it? Because just by increasing the beds doesn't make any difference. It should.
Masood, it's a very valid question. I hope you have an opportunity to go through Prime Minister Modi's speech. So he says that tourism is much more profitable than IT because it employs not highly technical guys. They want only people who can speak a little of English and decent behavior. Now, secondly, he says if IT should be developed, he was giving a comparison. No? A vast country like India with a huge potential for tourism gets only about 2 million tourists per annum to India, whereas China today gets 60 million because they focused on that, because they found that that's the industry which can employ people who are not well educated, who are decent in their behavior, and it can be, the tourism industry in China is very big, the hotels are very big, and so that kind of infrastructure will take a longer time. But I don't know whether you have gone around and seen a lot of estates, the houses are vacant. One of my cousins, he's got about 25 acres of property, and he's got a very decent house, Asian house there, about 6 rooms. He has converted that into a homestay. So, and it's sold only on online. Nothing, it's not sold only on online. He sells this thing. Maybe get about 15 people at a time. So, managing that kind of infrastructure would be very, very easy for a couple. Even for a retired guy like me, probably I also convert my house into a homestay, and that could be easily managed. Then, as you must have read the report, there are 1 million houses vacant in Kerala. And government is planning to tax that. I don't know what sense it makes. But probably an organized way of converting these into homestays could be a solution to make these big investments into a profitable venture. Those are things which I find, because whenever I travel in Kerala, I always prefer to stay in the homestays rather than the posh hotels. Because you get to know the people, you get to know the local area. If you go to Wagaman or on the way to Wagaman, there are so many homestays, small places. One of my son's classmate is an IT guy in Bangalore. Both of them resigned and started a small homestay on the way to Wagaman. It's only about 6 rooms. Husband and wife stays there, and they give excellent services. So this is what we have to focus on. Very big hotels, maybe in cities and towns, is viable. Like you said, you can't go to Munnar during the season time. The traffic jam alone takes about 1 hour to reach Munnar. So infrastructure have to be developed. If you want this industry to develop, infrastructure have to be developed.
Thank you, John.
Can I? Okay.
1 minute.
I have a general question. Last 2 decades, we are submitting a representation to the Government of India to integrate tourism, education, and healthcare. All over India, if you see most of the, especially all over the Gulf, most of the education institutions are run by Malayalis, and good hospitals also run by Malayalis. They have all the good quality hospital facility here in Kerala. And if Government of Kerala permit more educational institutions also, international quality institutions also, it will create lot of inflow of people from especially GCC countries. For treatment, they will be coming. When they come, they will see the beautiful Kerala. They want to see the Kerala. At the same time, there are a lot of opportunities for higher education and healthcare. These, if we can integrate these 3, the inflow of people to come this state and avail the facility of medical care as well as education. Is there anything to say about?
It's a very valid question, but I don't know whether you all have, all of us have very deep memories regarding education in Kerala. Before the private colleges were actually allowed in Kerala, nearly 30,000 of our children used to go to Karnataka, Tamil Nadu to study engineering. Because the government took such a long time to give sanction for private engineering colleges. Today, about nearly 60,000 of our students are going outside India to do the higher education. Why we can't provide these kind of facilities here is a mystery. In fact, you can have even online education. You need not be in a very big building to have this kind of educational facility. I remember a very good talk by Dr. Shastri, this hospital in Bangalore. He was saying that, why do you want to invest 400 crores for a medical college? It's absurd. All you require a very good building, a very good doctors to teach theory. And he was given an example. If you go to Middle West Indies, there are these huge medical colleges. They have no hospitals. They just teach theory, and these people get admission to go to US to do their practice. So we have to refocus on what exactly is required for, like you said, the educational institutions start here. Now the rule as per government is that if you want to start an engineering college, must have minimum 100 acres. And a hospital of, I think, 300 or 400 bed. That's going to cost nothing less than 400, 500 crores. Practical thinking of all these things can solve many of these issues, and these 60,000 of our youngsters going abroad. And I'm sure of that, half won't come back because they can work there 2 years. Most of them will go to the European countries, can work there for 2 years.
I need to intervene. Okay. There's one question there.
So this is to Kochosep Chitlapalli. I'm James Joseph, founder of startup Jackfruit 365. But the question was, your comment about, I am known because there are not that many people known in Kerala. Okay? And for the last 14 years, I was walking across the river almost every day in Alua. And I would go from one tile factory to the Advaita ashram and come back. That used to be my routine. But only just 2 days ago, I found out who was the CEO of that tile factory and who actually bought the Advaita ashram. And this is about, is there an opportunity for Kerala to revive some of our history and change the perception? And Mahakavi Kumaranashan was the oldest CEO, and he was actually on his way to the board meeting of the tile factory when he drowned. But for 100 years, he was also a poet, but Kerala only knows him as a poet. Is there an opportunity for us to, and in fact, what he did, okay, when the thatched roof in Kerala was shifting to tile roof, he started the largest tile factory. And at its peak, it ran for 80 years. At its peak, it was building 12.
What is your question, please?
So is there an opportunity for us to promote him from a poet to an industrialist?
Can Kochosep reply to you?
Okay. Yeah, I got your question, James. Actually, no, I know tile factories very well because in Trichure side, we have a number of tile factories. Even some of our relatives had. Actually, what happened to tile factories? They never upgraded. They never innovated. They never put any value addition into it. They were manufacturing ordinary tiles over a period of years, continuing the same thing. But at the same time, just for your information, there is a possibility of innovation as far as the clay industry. I say clay industry. For example, in our industry, our construction apartments, we use Forotham blocks, hollow tiles. That is purely an innovation when compared to the ordinary clay tiles. So what I'm trying to convey here, unless we upgrade our quality, our technology, our new ideas, again, we had tile factories, but again, when we have some resorts, we again get it from Mangalore or even from Bangalore, the glazed tiles, something like that. So in a nutshell, what I can say, we have to technologically upgrade the end product, value-added products to it. That was the problem which has happened for the old traditional tile factories, I believe. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, I think so, yes. Any questions?
I mean, how do the evolution of
You're addressing this question to any particular?
The panelist from Agape, sir.
Okay, okay.
It's great to note your achievements in this field of medical equipments. I just want to ask you one question in the sense that how did the coming of new age hospitals in Kerala bring more value to your company? Or is it the same with India, or are you exporting to other countries also, your equipments?
Yeah, thank you for this question. Agape's total revenue, almost 20-25% we are exporting. We are exporting to about 65 to 70 countries. But they are all almost similar to India, like developing countries. We are not exporting to Western Europe or US because there the total laboratory practices are totally different compared to India. So here, more decentralized way of laboratories. US probably, maximum number of laboratories 2,000, but India, the number of laboratories probably about 75,000 to 80,000, or maybe 100,000. So again, today, you can divide that, laboratory testing pre-COVID, post-COVID. Post-COVID, a lot of information came because pre-COVID, people go to laboratories only on the emergency diagnostics because if you have some accidents or any problem. But today, people started going to laboratories as a preventive diagnostics. So the opportunities are enormous. And more and more hospitals comes, definitely, they all will be attached to the private laboratories, or I would say that decentralized laboratories, and they can give lot of value additions. And Agape's business, less than 10% of the business from Kerala because, that 80% of the total volume, mainly the volumes are coming from the big metros and other big areas. So Kerala, of course, Kerala is always I would say that, a forerunner in the healthcare. So same case with the laboratories. But Kerala is important to us, but not only Kerala. We are spread across India. Thank you.
Thank you. Some youngsters started, yes.
My name is Limi Rostrom. I represent Bless Retirement Living. We are India's premier retirement living facility, one of the industries which was referred to, and one industry which would move Kerala more than tourism. My question is to both of you panelists, and I will start with the point Kochav sir has said about industries refusing or falling back on upgrading their technologies. We always are proud that Kerala is all about manpower. But we have come at a stage where the state of education, the quality of trained professionals coming out is not what it is, and the cream leaves. So where do you see Kerala fulfilling the need for services? Even though we say a piggyback on IT, Tier 1 infrastructure and real estate is coming very cheap, so we're going to lose our cost arbitrage there. So how do you, as experienced veterans who have seen decades, look at this availability of quality trained manpower to fuel our services sector, which is going to be a lot for Kerala?
So what's your second question? You said you have a second question.
No, I think this would
This
answer
one,
both.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. According to me, what happened, years back, Kerala government decided to open up the education to private sector, but I think they never put any norms and standards. And what happened, many people, those who are having money, they simply started colleges, either engineering colleges or MBA colleges, and most of them are not up to the mark. They never had any tie-up with any foreign universities. They never had any good, initially, good professors and faculty members. So that way, I believe there is a degradation of the higher education scenario in Kerala. And whenever we interview and recruit somebody, their knowledge level is very limited. They simply mug up the
very true, very true.
Yeah, mug up the syllabus and they can reproduce, whereas they can't find out a solution for a practical or some normal problems. So what we do, we somehow recruit them, and it is our duty as an industry. It is our duty to train them. They may have some basic knowledge, and the rest of the thing, our own industry, they have the responsibility to train them according to their requirement. That exactly is happening, and that is some of the thoughts which even Pamela can add on it.
To add on to that, basically, to take it from what Coach Joseph has said, it all depends on how knowledge may be there, but how to use it is what the industry can do. And that is where, we give the training, aptitude training or whatever it is required by the industry. So basic education, engineering skill or diploma will be there, but they are not able to find a solution to a problem. So you have to, as an industry, as a stakeholder, as a partnership, we need to possibly skill them to attune them to the requirement of the industry. And that is the responsibility of the industry. And most of the industry partners do this, if I know it very well.
I just want to add this, in our industry, it is growing about 15 to 18% annually. The industry is growing. So today the requirement is about 20,000 experienced manpower. So we understood that more and more companies are coming, so there can be a scarcity. So what we have done that, we have set up, we have associated with one of the premium engineering college, and we put a Agape Gurukul, where 30, first batch 30, otherwise, it's a 60 students, 6 months postgraduate medical device, training program. So that after that, they can be absorbed by different industry. So this sort of, the industry is taking this sort of initiative. Definitely, we can always get skilled manpower.
Thank you.
My question is to the moderator, Pamela ma'am. I am Algiers Khalid. I am the Honorary Treasurer of KMA. Our state is known for more females than men in the as born, or higher literacy rate, higher life expectancy for women. But in the panel, you are alone.
That is because Bala didn't invite other ladies.
Wait a minute, my question is not that. My question is, what is the status of women in the higher positions in the Kerala industry? Are women coming up to take up senior assignments at the board level, at the senior management level? That's my question.
Okay, I would just put the question back to you. How many of fathers sitting here would give more importance to your female child? Okay. It all depends on how the parents also give them opportunity. I will tell you my experience. My father, we were all girls, so we always, questions are, is it because we were all girls that, my father gave the opportunity? But one thing was that he always said, you are an individual. So you have to see that as an individual you perform. Whether you're a lady or a man is not the point. So if you are capable, you should deliver. And that is an opportunity which all fathers should give their children, girl children. So it is also that, in Kerala, I don't think any man gives a subordinate role to a lady, even as a wife. Do you?
No, my CEO is my wife.
Ah, yeah. Look at that. Okay. So it is a matter of that, you know, maybe because you are more there in the crowd, you feel that, but we are also strong and then we are also contributors and we can contribute. Huh? Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Manoj Krishnan. I'm the Executive Director of Kerala Management Association. Now, my question is to all the panelists here. Today, I mean, we talk about qualifications, we talk about engineering graduates, we talk about management graduates, and so on and so forth. The question is it not ripe for the industry to move from a qualification-based approach to a skill-based approach? Point number one, because many people today I know, I'm not playing down on any qualification of any person, but the point is today, those who are not aware of how to hold a screwdriver properly, but they're all engineers. Okay. So the point is it not high time that we employ people with good communication skills, irrespective of what their qualification is?
Is it a general question?
General
Can
question,
I
yeah.
answer that?
Yeah. Most industries which are highly specialized require specialized people.
Yes.
So it's not, you can't blanketly say, I will take only a non-qualified person in my position. So if I require a high-tech chemist, for example, in our industry, we require a lot of chemists for formulation and all that. So we have to depend upon really trained and especially experienced persons who can handle this. Because even a small percentage of formulation wrong could ruin your entire production. So those areas where we require specialized people, for example, accounts, we require chartered accountants. We can't depend upon an unqualified person to be a financial manager of the company. Similarly, the HR department has to be specialized people. So specialized people are required. But at the same time, earlier, like Kochi said, that it's important that people who join the organizations grow along with the organizations, learn all the ingredients of the company, and the same gather as much knowledge as possible from outside.
Thank you. We need to conclude, and I hope that you had a useful interaction with the panelists. And I would request the...
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all the panelists for sharing your valuable thought. So dream big, mattress or not, and remain committed. So success is bound to be yours. Thank you once again. May I now invite Mr. O.T.S. Nambiar, Past President KMA, Mr. K.N. Shastri, Past President KMA, Mr. Vivek Krishna Govind, Past President KMA, and Shushant Gurundil, Managing Committee Member of KMA, to please come over to the dais to hand over a curated memento to our panelists for handling this beautiful session. I also call upon Mr. A. Balakrishnan, President KMA, Mr. Bipu Ponnuran, Convention Chair, and Mr. Dilip Narayanan, Secretary KMA, to join them on the dais, please. Thank you so much. Before we move on to the third panel discussion, there is an announcement. KMA has arranged a boating for all the participants for the B2B session post-lunch. We request those who are interested to go on a boating to please be available after lunch, and we'll let you know the meetup time. Our third panel discussion is focusing on the industrialists from Kerala who have come out with flying colors with overwhelming success in their ventures abroad. Yes, we are about to hear from our international entrepreneurs about their success journey. We are happy to have with us a bunch of very passionate NRI entrepreneurs. And our panelists today are Mr. Sohan Roy, founder, chairman, and CEO of Aries Group of Companies. A rare combination of totally unrelated areas. Mr. Sohan Roy is the CEO and founder of Aries Group of Companies, a consortium of 59 companies from 25 countries with its headquarters in the UAE. A naval architect by profession and a Guinness entry recipient, he also holds a diploma in film direction from the Hollywood Film Institute. He is consistently listed among the top 40 Indian leaders of the Middle East by the Forbes magazine. He entered the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest snakeboard design. He is also the president of International Maritime Club and the founder of the first global maritime TV channel, Marine Biz TV. Welcome you, sir. Our next panelist for the session is Mr. Sanal Kumar, Managing Director and Chairman of Classic Fashion Apparel Industries Limited. Founding Chairman and Managing Director of Classic Fashion Apparel Industry Limited, Mr. Sanal Kumar is undoubtedly the apparel king of Jordan. His company is the largest apparel manufacturer in the Middle East and North Africa region, contributing to 45% of Jordan's total garment exports. The company contract manufactures for Walmart and many other companies in the Europe and US with a head count of about 32,000 people and 22 factories producing about 5.5 lakh garments per day. A recipient of numerous awards for business success, labor initiative and social service initiatives, he is a board member of the American Chamber of Commerce in Jordan. Welcome you, sir. Next panelist is Mr. T.N. Krishnakumar, Managing Director, Shanti International, Dubai. A seasoned professional with a rich experience of more than 33 years, primarily focused on the electrical distribution products. Mr. Krishnakumar has worked with multinational corporations like L&T, GE, Schneider, ABB, holding senior level posts across GCC countries. He's the Regional Director of the Middle East region, and he's consistently exceeding targets and increasing sales by leaps and bounds. He's also a philanthropist and was awarded by the Dubai Police for his COVID phase. Krishna Kumar was instrumental in repatriating hundreds of expats to India during the COVID time. Krishna Kumar is an active member of selected by the government of Kerala for Loka Kerala Sabha, for 22-24 period. Welcome, sir. Our moderator for the session is Mr. K.V. Shamsuddin, Founder Director, Barjil Geojit Securities LLC. K.V. Shamsuddin embarked on his career in the year 1970 at a private company in Sharjah. Later, he joined the government services at Sharjah and was part of it for 16 years before starting his own consultancy firm in Sharjah. And he became the director of Joint NRE promoter of Geojit Security. He got Best Finance Advisor Award in 2010 and the UTI CNBC Award. In 2007, he was awarded Grasham Pravasi Ratna for NRK. He holds the position as Chairman of Pravasi Bandhu Welfare Trust and Vice Chairman of Indian Business Professional Council. He also received an award in 2012 from Cochin Herald and Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for his efforts to educate non-resident Indians on financial planning and bring Kerala businessmen to Gulf. Sir, I now invite you to take over. The floor is all yours.
Welcome to the stories from the beyond borders. We have most prominent NRI, Mr. Sohan Roy. I would like to ask a question. You have in the Middle East 59 companies and 25 countries and headquarters in Dubai. We want to know how you are managing that, such a diversified and worldwide organization.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting a non-management graduate to a management forum. The only connection with me with the management is, as an voracious reader, I got one of the best management libraries with more than 100 books, management books with me. That is the only my connection with. Otherwise, I have never gone to any management schools. So I don't know. Since I have gone through these books, I know that I have completely gone out of the conventional management track. I developed my own management system, which may not suit with your thing. So what I am going to share here, it will be completely out of the box, may not be fit to your system, but I will share few. First of all, coming to this point, see, in Dubai, we have a metro system running for the last 14 years. Not even a single schedule got cancelled, and there is no driver also for the metro. That means the system is running it. In our case also, the system is running, not me. What I put is, I put my best effort to create a system. It's called EFISM, Efficiency Management System. It's an efficiency management system. Almost 200 parameters are there to improve your efficiency. In that system, even if you have 100 companies or 10,000 or 50,000 people, the system will manage. We create a network accordingly. It's a tree. We create a tree. We follow a 1:5:5. That means I need to manage 5 managing directors. Each managing director has to control another 5 directors, like that. And each one got their own system. Maybe one is managing one company or one project, like that. Each person is responsible in that system. So that is the way it is running. So, in the efficient, the basic principle is, we all got at the same time, 24 hours is there. So we divide these 24 hours into 3. 1:1 is the principle. It's called 1 for your karma, 1 for your mind, 1 for your body. So your body is almost fixed. That means you need proper sleep, 8 hours every day. You need to have 7 hours sleep, 1 hour for the exercise. That is fixed. Then comes the 7 hours for the karma. That is a job. That is fixed for everyone. That means I will get 240 hours per month for my job. How I can split it for these 59 companies? Now it is not 59 actually. It is more than 63 now. We have now spread to 29 companies, 29 countries right now. So it will keep on increasing. But the time is fixed, 8 hours. So this 240 hours is including my travel time to the office. So even if I can, while traveling in the flight, if I can work 8 hours trip, I can convert into job. It's working. I never considered it as a non-working trip actually. So every minute we count, every second we count, we log it in the system, we convert it into job. So, and the next 8 hours, that is to, just like mobile recharging, recharge your mind, rejuvenate your mind. You can split it into so many things. So in that way, it creates the happiness. If you ask me, if happiness is an asset, I believe that I am the richest person in the world. Because our goal in our company is to make every employee happy. We have our own happiness system, happiness department. So that's why I just want to share a few features in our company. That's why I told you I have gone out of the box. One is, we are the only company in the world where entire spouses get a salary. The unemployed spouses in the company get a salary. We go for the women empowerment. We have our own exclusive offices for the women. Normally, I am from the maritime sector. The only 2% of the females working in the maritime sector. But we have already increased more than 5 times. So that's why every year we are increasing the female workforce in the maritime sector. Now we have parent pension scheme. Even the grandparents, if you are looking after your grandparents, they get a pension.
Mr. Sanrai, we have to ask a few questions to
Yeah.
other people also. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Mr. Sanil Kumar, in fact, moved to Jordan, and you are running one of the largest apparel company there. That is a rare situation. Very few people are moving to that region, that country. Still, you are exporting 45% of the Jordan's apparel import under your leadership. How it happened?
First of all, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here today. It is a huge honor for me. And to answer his questions or the questions possibly raised by most of the people. I mean, I am from Trivandrum. By education, I'm a chartered accountant. As Mr. Sohan said, again, I'm not a management trainee or I'm not from the management school. As the people who said in the morning, management, I think, is an art of possibly winning the hearts of people and believing in them, believing in you, and induce your belief to them. And as one of the panelists said in the morning, they have to believe that if they don't do it, you can do it. Once you can induce that particular belief in them, they will come out of the bust. And to answer your question, I mean, I got into Dubai in 1991 as a finance manager in one of the garment factories over there. And without me knowing, I won't say I moved from finance, but I got into the operations and marketing part of the business. Then for some reasons, I believed that I can do this business better than most of the people that day running the show in Dubai. There are around 450 factories in Dubai on those days, mostly because to manage the quota system. And then from 95 onwards, I was creating this particular business for people who has the money. And I was just doing turnaround project for them, like, setting up the factories, getting the business in, and things like that. And I got into Jordan only because Jordan enjoys duty-free benefit into US, into Canada, into Europe, UK, and GCC countries. And duty-free factor, for our business, definitely is a huge advantage compared to even one of the most cost-effective countries like Bangladesh. So that is the reason I got in. In 2000, I went to set up a factory over there. And in 2003, the 3 years of experience in Jordan taught me one thing. Some of the countries where I can definitely rely on is bureaucracy. And rely on the people are absolutely positive and very receptive. So that gave me the courage. And we Indians in particular, particularly Malayalis, we call Malus over there. So, and we always live for tomorrow. We don't live for today. So what I meant, from 1991 till 2003, what I could earn was around $500,000. I didn't spend. I earned that money. So that was my capital into, as you said, 22 factories in Jordan today. We invested over $500 million in infrastructure. And sales-wise, we have reached to $1 billion today. And we have 32,000 people from different nationalities. And we are possibly the largest private sector employer in terms of Jordanians. We employ 6,000 Jordanians over there. The balance 26,000 people are from India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, predominantly.
Thank you.
So that's what we do.
Now, Mr. Krishna Kumar, the story of Mr. Krishna Kumar is a brain drain. In fact, he had about approximately 30 years experience in India, in L&D and APM. All this experience, you went to Dubai and set up a company. How you think to go after such a vast experience to Dubai?
Good afternoon all. First of all, I want to thank the Kerala Management Association, office bearers and organizers for inviting me to the event. I'm originally from the hilly district, Idiki, a small town, Todupuzha. After did my engineering from College of Engineering, Trivandrum. Joined L&T. This is my first company, and again, I still believe, even until today, this is the best engineering organization in India. The best place where you get trained. Within very few years, I become the branch head of one of the very busy branch, which is Mumbai Central. I was the branch engineer. And in 1995, that is the time I got transfer. Actually, I got a promotion to head Kerala. And my office was, I believe that time it was in Revipuram, the L&D head office in Kerala, with all the 14 districts having distributors, including in my own hometown, Thodupuzha, we have one distributor. So it was my dream job, and my parents were very, very happy that I'm coming back after a long time, back to Kerala, back to my place. But this is the time we took a decision, no, this is not time for me to come back to Kerala and then look for the domestic market. And this is the time for me to go international exposure, to see world, to see what's actually happening. And that is the day, that's the year we decided I will move on to abroad. So I started actually my career, abroad career, with a French company, Schneider Electric. Started with only UAE and then added Bahrain, Oman. Then I become the regional head of Schneider Electric based in Dubai, reporting to Paris. And then I moved on to Arriva, which is a French government into uranium enrichment, nuclear reactors. Even now, Arriva does all the nuclear power reactors for India, around 6 of them going on. So I was the Middle East regional head, reporting again to Paris. And then moved into GE, General Electric, which is again the biggest conglomerate in the world in energy segment. I was a global leader for oil and gas petrochemical and reporting to US in Plainville, Connecticut for 6 years, and then moved as the Middle East regional head based in Dubai, and then moved into ABB. ABB again, it's a Swedish company. I was heading the whole region. So all the years, I've been just looking at that. I'm moving into various MNCs and making them profitable, moving from 100 million to 200 million or 200 million to 300 million. I was making all of them richer, putting my effort, using my contacts, my networks. So I decided, why not start doing something on my own. And in the same time, I have traveled officially or personally almost about 80 plus countries in my time. So everywhere I go, I've seen very luxurious resorts. And again, I think some of the panelists and the audience were talking about tourism. And I always want to do something back in my home state and Kerala. I want to do something. And then every time there is a question, is it safe to do something back here? And what I should be doing? And I did a lot of research. And then, few of them, which is tourism or Ayurveda or IT. There are only few of the industries which is more suitable. I believe industries like chemical or things may not be suitable. So I picked up tourism, and I started my first project about 8 years back in Wayanad, in Banasura. And this is where I moved actually into, so that I can have my own company in UAE and as well as in India. And then I grown into Chamarajanagar, Bandipur. So this is my...
Thank you. I'll come back. In fact, these three gentlemen is a classic example. I used to say, we Malayalis are like a paddy plant. When it replant, it will grow fast and well. These 3 persons with experience, they moved from Kerala to other countries, different region. They all three flourished very well. Now, Mr. Sohan Roy, he has such a vast business and factories and everything. And what are the projects you have in Kerala? And when you are doing business in Kerala, compared to other countries, what are the positive and negative things you witnessed?
See, we have right now around 2,350 employees. Most of them are engineers actually, working in various countries. Out of that actually, almost 800 people working in Kerala only. We are mobilizing people because our policy is try to get maximum foreign projects and use Indian resource so that we can generate, we can put foreign current money into Indian economic bucket. That is our vision actually. So we can say that more than 90% of our revenue is coming from abroad. But at the same time, we are using Indian human resource at various places, and we normally use people from the villages and middle class or lower middle class families we get, so that each job we are providing is supporting a big family actually. That is our vision. And also we took a policy that wherever we can get cricket team captains in any campus, we take them. We never look into their academic things or credits or something, but we found that they are the best in our team. They are the best team leaders because unknowingly they develop the management skills or team building skill as a cricketing captain. So you can also try that one actually. It's a proven example. We basically have all the training centers here because the success of our thing is continuous training. Every year, minimum 50 hours of training we provide to all the employees so that they keep on upgrading. Our vision is like converting a security guard into a policeman, into an army man, into ultimately a commando. Once you are a commando, you are a real team leader. That means you can handle any project independently. You can take decisions. You will be heading a division as such, actually. So that is the way we are providing the training. And these trainings, basically, we are doing it in Kerala. Now we are doing, what we are doing is we are clubbing, because we found that in FSM, we found the biggest train hole in our industry is the poor quality of academic training. Because there is a huge gap between academics and industry. Even I am not called by the academics to give the training to the people. So we parallelly created a training system, even from the school level. We have selected a school from Agli, one of the tribal schools we have selected, and we have started clubbing it with the industry, so that from the 7th standard onwards, children can be fine-tuned to the industry. So every day nowadays, each industry is addressing the students. They are selecting the people from there. So the same model can be replicated in other sectors also. This is the way we are giving the training. And in Kerala, the business, we are doing only few business with only few Indian clients, some corporates like Reliance, Adani, Tata, and Kochi Shipyard. Only few clients we got in India. Otherwise, we are focusing on, we got around 8,700 clients worldwide in 100 countries. But in India, we are using it as a training ground. Our vision is to get maximum foreign money, because there are so many companies to do Indian jobs here. I believe that is our success mantra, giving training, mold these people into international standards.
Thank you. And what about from Jason? Are you doing any business in Kerala? And what is your view about your business in Kerala? Because your experience will be motivation to other NRIs to come over to Kerala and set up business.
As you know, I mean, when I talk about garment industry, this industry, the beauty of this industry is the industry can cater the lowest strata of our society. The machine operators or the people who helps the machine operators doesn't need to be educated, doesn't need to be experienced. If anybody do have a heart and mind to put in onto the machines, a person can be a good operator in 3 to 12 weeks maximum. So that is what the beauty of the industry. But for some reason, you know, the Kerala, our industry, garment industry, did not flourish much. Maybe because of the aspirations that we do have. Than, you know, what about Tamil Nadu or other states. We do have business in Tirupur. I mean, we have active presence in Tirupur in India, if you talk about it. Then we have presence in Bangladesh and, of course, in Jordan. That is where it stands. So for Kerala, I mean, if you talk about it, I did not try anything so far. I should be very honest with it. And as I said to you, possibly our industry may not be the right model for our state, because the thing is, the literacy of the state, as well as the aspirations of the people, may not be connecting to the kind of industry possibly I can come up with when I talk about garments. That's what
in fact, we have a apparel industry in Kochi free zone. Once upon a time, about 6,000 ladies were working. It was successful. Then it closed.
You're talking about Kitex, right? No. Okay.
No, in the free zone.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Basically,
but after that, there is no such massive development in that sector in Kerala. At that time, highly educated girls were working in that factory.
true. Basically, if you talk about it, this industry, as I said, doesn't need so much of educational experience, but at the same time, this industry unfortunately can pay only the basic wages, not like other industries, because this industry competes with the world. It is not, it's competing within India or within Jordan or any other kind. We have to compete with the world because the factories are there all over the world. I'm talking about Asia and Middle East and Africa. So if we have to compete, we have to come up with the best efficiency and best cost, and possibly that model, I didn't try, so I cannot say it's possible or not, but the perception is possibly may not be the right business for Kerala.
Okay.
That's what I can think of.
Thank
nothing
you.
wrong in trying.
Mr. Krishkumar, do you have any business in Kerala? And what is your experience?
As I mentioned that I actually want to do a resort, actually a luxury resort. And then we have been looking, as I mentioned, I am from Idiki. The first option I was looking at my own district, but again, Munnar and all, there are land issues, and also finally we looked at the beautiful district of Wayanad and that beautiful place of Banasura. We have actually started a luxury resort about 8 years back, and again, many actually have told me that, okay, why not you just go for too many rooms and you can make more. So I was against that people are actually spending money for their own privacy, for their own security, and they all want to relax. So we had actually utilized only 30% of the land. We made a spacious resort, and I can actually proudly say that for the last 5 years, consecutively, TripAdvisor has been rating as the best traveler's choice in India, actually, in luxury resorts. So giving this motivation, again, one of the gentlemen talked about responsible tourism. I just want to comment on that. See, responsible tourism is also respecting the environment. We actually constructed the resort on a hill, on a Banasura hill. We could, as an engineer, I'm an engineer, an MBA, so we could actually, how do we construct it is we remove all the sand, we cut all the trees and all. We didn't do that. Actually, keeping the topological condition in the same way, without cutting the tree, we have actually constructed the resort, and it's actually paid back to us that during the flood 2018, 2019, very luckily, fortunately, we were not being touched. So this is one of the things we could gain back, actually, if you have been, respecting the environment. And the second thing is, in that area, it's full of tribals. So you give lots of job opportunities to the tribals, actually. You actually involve them so that they become very dedicated, loyal. In tourism industry, the customer service is the key. Without customer service, whether you have a beautiful ambient or an excellent luxury resort having all sort of thing, it will fail. So these people, even during the COVID, when we were closed the resort, we were actually paying back to all the employees. So everybody, we have taken care of all the family. Again, after the COVID, it again helped us. All of them are actually very, very loyal, staying with us and ensuring the customer service is the ultimate. So all this prompted us to move into one more resort. I'm actually again going at least a much bigger resort in Bandipur area. It's in a place known as Shamaraj. We have taken about 48 acres of land, and it's currently only fruits, and now we are converting them into an organic resort, having all recreational facilities, cable cars. So this is my second project we are coming up in India. And again, many people talked about bad things, support and all. Believe me, I never faced anything. I'm not telling everything is, green. There could be problem, but if you systematically look at things, systematically support back to the community, okay, taking help, because those people, I am employing those tribals, those people around. I support when there was a flood happen, I opened the resort for them. When there was COVID happen, I opened my resort for the doctors and for the medical staff to stay and support the government. So when you really give back to community, I think community will give back.
Mrs. Sohan, what I witnessed, all the successful NRI businessmen, they all are giving back to the society. You are doing a lot of such work, philanthropic work. Can you explain within 1 or 2 minutes?
See, I cannot change the entire world. I cannot change the entire country, but I can change myself, I can change my family, I can change my company, and I can change maybe my village also. This is what now I am focusing. I want to have a peaceful life at the end of my life. So I thought I need to live in my village where it should be a dream village actually. So we have almost adopted that village. We make sure that 100% are, everyone get a job. We have set up now one of our corporate tower also there. Now every female there in that village is employed. Every house, if any unemployed person is there, he is getting employed in our company. We make sure that all their parents are taken care. Even we started a cricket stadium over there that is supposed to be in Kerala's number 2, is going to be the number 2. And we started a cricket club there. Now the Kerala league is number 2 now. So we are transforming that village. Organic farming we started. We make sure that they get the best education. The career design we are doing for all the children. Everything, whatever we can do. There is no begging.
Excellent.
No beggars, nothing in that there. 100% safe village. So it's a model village.
Yeah.
And we made a movie also about that village. It has gone to Oscar. The name is the village name is Aikarakona. It is available in Amazon.
Thank you.
You can watch it.
And what about you? Are you doing something in Kerala?
Again, when it comes to the employment, definitely from my village, over 1,000 people are working for us in our company.
Okay.
And not otherwise we are connected much, but we are doing back a lot into Jordan, the country which made me as what I am today.
Thank you.
I mean, we have adopted a couple of, organizations which is doing charitable work, and we are creating job for them, and we are creating other social ecosystem for them, and that's what we are doing over there.
Mrs. Anil Kumar already mentioned some of the things you are doing. Anything else, son?
We have actually formed a charitable trust registered in Trivandrum and taking care of almost 1,500 students from almost all the 14 districts, brilliant children, but economically, weakened children, 1,500 children. I am actually the life trustee of one of the life trustee of the charitable trust based in Trivandrum. And this is ongoing for the last 12 years. We are supporting. Every year we take children from the 8th grade and we ensure they studied until 12th. Money is not everything. You need to train them. You need to educate them. These are brilliant children lacking in some here or here. It could be communication, things
Thank you.
So we do that and then
Now
they move into
it is a time to get your audience questions. They will answer. The panel will answer you. Welcome. Please share the mic.
Hello. First of all, let me thank KMA for bringing such eminent people for this panel. And this question is to Mr. Krishna Kumar, my long-time friend. I am Dr. Lalitha. I am a professor, visiting professor in Kochi University, and also the president of the Women's Forum of the Global Malayali Council. And it is for WMC that Krishna Kumar and I work in different portfolios. So it is really enthralling and really wonderful to hear whatever you are saying. But as for Mr. Krishna Kumar, I can only say that the announcer as well as he himself has told only 1/4 of what he really is. And I am proud to be your Akka, and I am very happy to know that you are doing more and more things. And would you please tell us, like anybody asks, I am also asking you, would you please tell me the core reason of your success? One question. And the second question is, which part of the community help? Or you have always said that you have a passion for resorts, making resorts, and you're making Serenity too, I know that. So which part or which genre of your public work gives you the most satisfaction?
Thank you, first of all, Dr. Lalitha. again, social work, I've been into social work from very long time. I don't know, maybe it comes from my parents. We wanted to help community in general. So when I was in Dubai, especially COVID time, I've seen people lost job. And I'm a person who go very regularly to the labor camps and visit them. And I've seen actually the real bad side of Dubai. Dubai, all of you would have seen the brighter side, but I have seen also the other side. And it actually has moved me to feel that I should do something for them. They have lost job and unable to come to their country. So we have helped actually repatriating around, first I have repatriated about 66 people in different flights, but all of them to Kochi at that time. But then after that, we have repatriated about 148 people to almost 10 cities in India. And also, people lose job during this COVID, and then even now, due to many reasons. So we have made it as a passion to give them food, because again, I feel we say annadanam. So we want to practice actually that. Until now, we have completed 70,000 meals in the last 3 years in various labor camps in Dubai. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hello. My name is Rajesh. I'm from Malayalam Panorama. My request to Mr. Sohan to continue the happiness mantras you have provided for your employees. In between, it got interrupted. Could you please? I believe it would enrich human resource practices in Kerala. Thank you.
See, our HR system is completely different. Because it is not, it's a family management system basically. I place myself as the eldest brother in the family, and rest all the staff is considered as my younger brothers and sisters. So like how you take care of your family members, it is my responsibility. So I need to take care of everything, of their growth. Their parents are supposed to be my parents. Unfortunately, my parents are no more. So now I have, I can say that I got more than 2,300 parents actually. Now, and also everything, their legal issues we take care. We have a legal cell. If they have a legal problem, our legal cell take care of it. If they have a financial issue, our happiness department take over it. We discuss how to solve that issue. We solve that problem once. If they repeat it, they need to exit. And also in the FSM, first thing we teach them is whether your salary is 1,000 dirhams or 100,000 dirhams, you need to live within that one, and you need to have a savings. If you are going out of the track, then your financial management system is not okay. So like that, and your children's education system, their career design. I personally get involved into the career design nowadays. Everything there, if they have a health issue, we get into it. If they don't have a house in 10 years, we make sure that company build a house for them. Every, as I told you before, the spouses are there, spouse salary is there, and also ministerial leave we introduced. And on the labor leaves, up to 2 years you will get labor leave, because we consider the next generation, the child need mother care, and the next generation is also our, it belongs to the company, because if their first choice is to join our company, if they are willing, we will make sure that they are also accommodated in our company. And like that, every aspect of the employee we look here, just like a brother, and their problem, I consider it as my problem. I think that's the way we are growing.
Thank you very much, panelists, for sharing your views and thoughts with us. I'm sure the room will echo with me when I say we are super proud of you, fellow Malayalis, making it big abroad. Let's give a huge round of applause for our outstanding panel here. Thank you so much. May I now invite Mr. Anil Varma, MD Varma Homes, Mr. Balagopal, MC member, ACK Nair, Aligarh Khalid, MC member, to kindly come on to the dais to give a memento to
from our company because of this family management system. Thank
Proud to note that, sir. May I also invite President KMA, the Chair of the Convention, and the Secretary KMA to join the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you, gentlemen. To say that we had a very interesting, engaging, and productive B2B session would be an understatement. We got to hear the success stories and mantras from the giants of the industry, each a leader in their segment. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to all the panelists of the 3 sessions for taking their time out to come over and to share their experience. I'm sure, like me, all the attendees will have a lot of takeaways from this interactive.
Good afternoon. I'll be very brief. First and foremost, a big thank you goes to the esteemed leaders from the public sector, private sector, and the international companies for sharing their private personal experiences and for the diverse perspectives which was presented to the audience. Secondly, to all the invited guests for making this event very lively with engagement, conversations, and discussions. Thank you. Please join us at 5:30 in the evening in the other hall for the inaugural session. And meanwhile, enjoy the networking lunch and the boating. Thank you.